Good late night speed gaming fans. I'm Dang Wu and my broadcast partner is Lyra, and we're here to bring you yet another great 2019 Final Fantasy Spring Tournament matchup. We've got the All-Star Danny 3883 doing the tracking tonight and trying to keep everyone updated on key progression and endgame items these runners will find. This is the third round of the Swiss matches, and both of these competitors are 0-2 at this point. But they could definitely have been 2-0 or 1-1 had a little RNG had been in their favor. Lyra, once again, I'd like to thank you for broadcasting with me tonight, and I'd like you to kind of introduce our runners to the viewers, along with the kinds of things you would expect out of their team composition.
Good evening, everybody. I am the White Witch. I cast these spells of love for you all, and I cast these spells of pain for our runners. Gregory Puff, friend of the community, got put down here pretty nastily. Captain Nerd had some close ones too. These comps are quite interesting. Now, Red Mage, you are only required to have one, but we have on Gregory's 2, which is a bit of a risk because there is no sort of tankiness whatsoever in that team comp. Probably relying on that black belt in order to get things done. Now, Captain Nerd has a little bit interesting of a comp too, choosing 2 white mages, loading up on that healing magic, and also relying on that black belt to get things done. I don't know what to expect from this deck. They're both super squishy. These late games better carry them because the early's going to be rough.
I would agree with you. The early game is going to be very rough, and I'm about to give the runners a countdown here. What exactly are you expecting off of this? Because, they don't have that frontline fighter. The Thief on Gregory Puff is interesting. It allows him to...
They are definitely going to be relying on the massive clear spells of Red Mages just to get things done. Red Mage is great. It generally has level 1 through 6 magics, some level 7 from what I've been hearing, and it's going to be relying on that to get everything taken care of, because you don't have any pure offense in this besides that black belt, which is always single target.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping for a level 1 fade for sure. If we can get that, Captain Nerd early game is going to be very nice. You might see a reroll off of Gregory Puff if that happens.
A reroll isn't out of the question. I definitely wouldn't put it past them. Even though the Thief is actually really good for running away from these early encounters, it's going to be really interesting to see where this is going. But we are going to be starting off right now, going to...
Kind of surprised by Captain Nerd. Instantly goes, checks out the weapon shop. Yep, there's the reroll by Gregory Puff. He knows level 1 fade. He's going to go the white mage. How many he's going to go? Maybe 2 at this point. Nope, he's going to go with the red wizard, or the red mage will be able to learn the fade. Oh, nope, he switches over. He's going to go the white mage. Captain Nerd saves time because he's already got the 2 white wizards.
Fade and Invis too in the actual white magic stuff. Both of them super useful spells for late and... Take a look at the black magic shop here. We have Fire 2, Ice 2, and Warp. All of them super cheap, so that's something our runners can definitely pick up early on too, as long as they haven't spent too much. But Captain Nerd has spent...
This is going to be a very, I guess, quote-unquote, easy early game. Adamant is found in the shop. It's easy money, 2,000, less than 2,000, so that's another key item that they can find.
Now, something that's on these flags is when you get 12 key items, the XP boost is turned to 150%, which is actually going to be helpful for that late game grind for those black belts, so I wouldn't expect too much grinding early.
It's interesting. On the left-hand side, Gregory went right up, finds Excalibur. That's useless, so he's going to get money. He can sell that. Captain Nerd on the right-hand side went to the bridge, went through the cinematic, is going to fight Garland. Now, he's not going to have the money Gregory Puff has unless he goes and checks it out. The spiders have Dazzle. That can be annoying.
Spiders believing in a dance party. Garland getting knocked down by our runner. We have 2K and the Opal bracelet. Oh my...
that's called a gamble. Well, not really a gamble. It's kind of like a safe gamble. And for Grigglypuff, it's paying off big because you do something so easily with a tent. The king gives the TNT. Sarah's going to give the tail. That's kind of big. You put a ribbon on your black belt, and you're good to go in that regard. But at this point, Captain Nerd's kind of behind in items. He doesn't have the Opal Bracelet, and he doesn't have Excalibur to sell for that easy money for spells, armor, anything of that sort.
It's a little bit worrisome from Captain Nerd, but Captain Nerd's been making some gambles in this tournament. I wouldn't expect to see possibly a run back of it. Question in the chat. Yes, both of these runners did agree on at least having a black belt. I didn't see in that chat whether they were agreeing on the exact same. Gregory going ahead and grabbing those two key items. Captain Nerd going over to Dwarf Cave for that TNT turn-in. Seems like the better play early.
Yeah, the seed is definitely pointing him in that way. Gregory just sells the Excalibur. Now he's got money. He can buy the silver bracelets. Gives that to, if he wants to, most of his team there, and they're going to be pretty good. I would expect Gregory to go that way, especially with the adamant. But at the same time, you might go to Provoca. You might get a Provoca or Crescent, and you get more key items that way.
Gregory using up one of the heal potions there to make sure it gets a full stock of 99, considering they're ultra cheap, and also the tents are kind of expensive for this seed. Real estate going. Captain Nerd taking a look at the ogres and creeps there.
Poison Touch, Asps, that seems pretty vanilla there. Not too much, but it can be annoying. He doesn't have the money to purchase the Pures. Good amount of money there. Okay, he's made about 5,000 there. Gregory's going to follow the same path. The difference is Captain Nerd does not have the Adamant because he did not have the money, so Grigglypuff's going to be able to turn in 2 key items here.
Captain Nerd getting a bottle from the Narek the Dwarf there. Bottle's going to come in handy later, not so much right now.
The blacksmith has the ruby, so the ruby could be, Floater could be hiding behind that. We don't know yet. If a Provoca is Gaia, we can turn in the bottle. But we also have to hope that we get the ship to be able to make our way. Ooh, ogres are not being nice to Captain Nerd. Alright. Elflin is now Lefane. So the downside of this is they have no armor shops, no weapon shops, they have no inn to heal, and no item shops, so they can't buy any more tents, cabins, heal potions, or anything there. And Zap comes out to wipe Captain Nerd's progression there. And the worst part about that is the wolves and the Gur-wolves, I don't remember which one it was, those are going to be in Marsh, and they will be in Earth Cave later on too, so it's not exactly going to be an easy run in either of those.
Captain Nerd deciding to buy some more stuff, having to rebuy all that. That's a lot of time. Gregory going to Marsh instead, though. The value of this is kind of high, considering this is an incentive dungeon, meaning there is going to be an item required for progression in here.
It is, and he's got warp charges too, so he can check out that top. If it's anything good, warps out just like Captain Nerd can. Save, and then he can make his way down. But it looks like he's going to the bottom of Marsh Cave where there's more chests and the incentivized location. And he's going to have enough warp charges to be able to exit out. He should be all in one go.
Now the question is, dang, are you a runner that actually likes to go the top side of Marsh first when you have to go down here, or would you rather just do the bottom and pretend the top never?
With warp charges, I would check top. I would check the top because then I can just leave, and I have fade charges if I need to, so I can run with the black belt and the mage and just keep casting fade. Check the top. If it's nothing there, you reset out and you head down bottom. If there's something there, you warp out and you go from there.
Griggly taking no problem care of those lovely mucks, which aren't Pokemon, surprisingly, in this seed. That was a long, long time ago, well before those came.
And gargoyles are hitting Griggly's white wizard for a good amount of damage. He did not put silver bracelets on any of his other characters. Right now, it is just his red mage and his black belt. One has the opal, the other one has a silver bracelet. Unrunnable wizards.
Oh dear, that is not something you want to see early game, as most parties don't have the defenses to come up for these big old attacks.
And the canoe is down in Marsh. We now have access to our, well, crescent to find out what's there. And at this point, Griggly now has to check north, possibly. If he wants to, he can save on his way up, check out north for those couple few chests. Maybe there's a loose. Or he can just start heading to either Crescent, or he can head to Provoca.
Speaking of Provoca plays, Captain Nerd is definitely heading over that way. With Town Shuffle on, though, this may be something completely useless to us for right now, like, say, Lefane for
And the
Oh, and the Gargoyles have Zap. Captain Nerd getting exiled to the 4th dimension as Griggly exits doesn't even look like worrying about the top side that much.
yeah, I think he's gambling. It's one of those things of, I think at 0-2 he's just going. And there's one Gerwolf in this pack. He knows. Okay, he gets the early run. He's safe from it. Uh-oh. Ambushed.
And they have Thunder, too! Oh my gosh, all the lightning magic of the entire seed just going straight on our early game.
And Provoca is Elflin, which allows us to have level 3 and 4 magic. Pro rings are sold for 8,000. That's a good buy. That gives your black belt a lot of armor.
Houses are over 4,200 though. Those aren't going to be really good buys early game. Captain Nerd choosing to gamble and grind a little bit outside of Provoca. I'm not sure this is a great call. I'm not sure what you're wanting to afford it.
With fade charges, if I were him, I'd go to Peninsula Power if he's going to grind.
Now, the Peninsula Power is located at the top near Elf.
And Crescent is Crescent. We find that out on the left side with Griggly. We're about to see what these... And they have the cube. The old men have the cube.
Cube, not much value to us early on either, so we're going to be hunting around for the ship or potentially the floater here early on. Now, the theme of this tournament is sailing on the high seas, so there is definitely more likelihood of a ship possibly, in which everybody loves going. The theme is one of our intrepid jobs is the captain of our team, meaning they have to be used in every single seed that the runners are playing this week. And one of them walks the plank, indicating you cannot have any of them in your party whatsoever. Griggly stocking up on pure potions and also other potions too. Nice play right there. and getting the save in, because you don't want to have to run all the way back to Crescent Lake.
And to be honest, I'm surprised he's not at least testing out the first encounter. Maybe find out Fiends, just to get a little more experience, a little more fade charges on your casters. Because that'll allow you to run and gun, essentially, or fade a lot of things. If you want to do like an early ice cave dive, because you have the warp, you could go for that incentivized location and just warp out.
Oh, the Hydras have cremate too. Oh my gosh, this early game. But fortunately, the white mages have the power to fight back with double fade.
Yeah, but they rolled high health. They took 2 fade charges and were not going down. And Captain Nerd's making a good play here. He's gonna be able to get some money now.
Yeah, since both of these players are using the same team comp and neither of them involves a fighter, you can't equip the Excalibur, so why not just hawk it to the nearest vendor and get yourself going? Captain Nerd definitely seeing the proper play right.
And this also gives him the Opal Bracelet, which is also very key in the way Gregory was able to get through those wizards early on. I mean, I guess it's not that important, but those wizards can hit really hard, and that Opal Bracelet provides a lot of armor early on in the game.
Chooses to equip it onto the black belt instead of the red mage, even though the red mage is in the first slot. I'm not sure I'm liking that particular play. You want to go ahead and make the red mage the primary.
On Gregory's side, when he went down into Marsh Cave to answer Asher's question, he actually had the Opal Bracelet on his black belt in the top position.
Gregory taking out hordes of fish, stocking up for the long winter. Go ahead and salt them. Looks like we're heading around the long side of the continent. This could be that peninsula power play you were mentioning.
Ooh, he runs into the Gerwolves. This could be bad. On the left-hand side, he gets lucky. No cast of Zap, no cast of Thunder, so he survives that encounter. He better save. He's got to be careful of them. Though I don't think he's actually seen the Zap or Thunder from them.
Gregory making the smart play of not using up that last tent to go ahead and keep the item list the way it is, so that way the items are easier to access and select when you're trying to menu through them as fast. Veteran move.
The veteran move, and he's got a lot more money, so he can go through here. He can pick up all these heal 3 stuff. He can pick up harm 2 if you absolutely wanted to, but it's not really needed. Heal 3 is definitely the one thing to go for.
I mean, you have a large amount of money. Sure, harm 2 would be decent, considering you haven't found any light axes yet, but the ruby for the adamant check, though.
Life is in level 4 white magic. He's got 2... Oh, nuke right there. Okay, so his red wizard, whenever he gets a red wizard, is going to be loaded. He's going to have nuke, he's going to have fade, life.
That looked like a Brack pickup to me, which I am definitely on board with that. Brack, the ultimate slayer of certain bosses.
So a little update for Captain Nerd. He needs to go to Marsh. Marsh has the canoe. If he wants any sort of progression, he has to get through the Marsh incentivized location. There is a couple chests in Marsh that Gregory did not pick up, or did not check. The top side of Marsh he did not check. He did not also check the room next to the wizards or the upper right-hand corner chests. So there are a bunch of loose items, at least in Marsh and in Matoya's he hasn't checked, along with Ice Cave, which is incentivized, and the volcano.
Gregory about to be disappointed as Matoya's cave check, though. This is actually a little bit of a time loss, because there's nothing interesting in the...
You get to see those cool little brooms. that teach you how to do maps. How to bring up the map.
One of the quality memes of this community is if you do a map trek, everybody takes a drink of the nearest wonderful drink that they have sitting next to them. I have a bottle of water tonight. I don't know about you, Dang, but this is definitely going to be something interesting.
On the left, Grigglypuff gets a lucky fade charge. Unfortunately, I have nothing at the moment. On the right, Captain Nerd is making the trip up to the north side of Marsh. Griggly hasn't checked it out, so we don't know what's up there. It could be something really good. Once again, the Grey Wolves, or the Gur Wolves, if you want to call them, have Zap and Thunder. You have to be very careful with them. Hydras hit really hard and they cremate and are very beefy.
Oh, there's the gaze coming out from the creeps. That's pretty scary. Gregory definitely taking advantage of the fish situation for extra XP. This isn't a bad idea. I probably would have stayed around town and done EXPs though if they were relatively easy to Found a great axe in the top of Marsh. Not that great. We'll go ahead and continue on to the other two.
Yeah, the Great Axe is going to do much.
Silver helmet, strike 2.
Yeah, not with this group. That is definitely not going to help out. If they had a fighter, not too bad for an early weapons.
Scums with the stinger. Ooh, I hope you stocked up on cure potions, nerd. That is not something you want to see.
Based on what I've seen, 8 Pures, he might keep this if it's anything good, but that is an annoying spell. It uses up a lot of your stuff, and house and a cabin I would have probably saved out and left, yeah.
The house I probably would have warped out, but the cabin, no, definitely just reset out.
I mean, at this point you have Excalibur money, stuff like that. Just say, yeah. I mean, you can house cabin. You know what? You're actually right. That's actually a better call. On the left, Grigglypuff has entered an ice cave. This is our first look into it. Now, this is like Marsh Cave. There's a lot of different enemies, a lot of dangerous things that could happen. They could roll a lot of death spells. So we'll see what happens here. They also have the wizards here, which we saw in Marsh. But you can have up to, like, 9 of them.
Now, something I'm interested in is this ice play. It is an incentivized dungeon for this set of flags, but would you pick this over a volcano dive, potentially the second?
I would, yes. With 2 fade charges, and you have opal armor and life, yeah.
See if Captain Nerd checks out the rest of these bottom of the dungeon.
Now these gargoyles are also a problem. They hit almost as hard. They almost hit triple digits. They're hitting 3 hits, and they do not like any of the light warrior.
Chat pointing out it was easy to check the incentive chest. Yeah, that's definitely a good point right there for anybody that's just starting off in the game. If you get warp, you can definitely make an easy check. Unrunnable images and wraiths, though, that's pretty scary considering we don't exactly have extra spells to fling around. I'm gonna go ahead and save some of that for the bot.
Images with cremate also. Okay, so we gotta be careful of the images. They are deadly. We don't have any ribbons, so we can't resist it. On the right, Captain Nerd is getting basically looked at by scums and takes a wipe and has to reset. Now the deadly part about that move is it is non-elemental, which means even with a ribbon, you're still going to take the... You don't resist it, essentially, unless you get lucky with your magic defense.
Captain Nerd hitting more of those pure potions. That's almost gone. That's not something you want to see this early, especially on your poor white mages that are our primary form of offense. We have a ship seed, everybody.
And I like this play by Gregley. He's going to go in, he's going to get charges, and this also helps out his red mage to get nuke charges. Since he can't learn the level 1 fade, if this eye is easy to kill, he gets nuke charges for if he wants to do the volcano.
So these eyes have about 200 HP apiece. Early on, choosing to go ahead and start grinding these, I'm okay with this, but this is something you probably want to come back to later when you have more access to those fade charges instead of gambling and not getting the ship out. We welcome to the lovely chat, fearless leader Zardia of Team Vorpal. Yeah, ship and ice, this has been quite a seed so far.
Now the thing with, and as Asher is pointing out, the ice ship, the ship goes to the nearest inner sea location. So because it's Ice Cave, it'll actually be in Provoca. Or the Provoca dock. And Captain Nerd's going to face these wizards. If he gets an early fade off, it's going to kill all the wizards. And the wizards are going to show him exactly how much damage they do to anything that doesn't have an opal bracelet. 2 hits is red mage. Pro cape on the left-hand side by Gregley Puff. Great shield armor for his casters. We get our first look on the right-hand side. Captain Nerd finds more money. The chest that Gregley didn't choose. There's one more he didn't check.
The black belt being forced to absorb all of that since the red mage did go down. This is starting to get a little bit of a scary situation for Captain Nerd. This might be flashbacks.
And I'm being told that if Vorpal was found, and in this case it's going to be probably sold for money. Wait, there was a Vorpal? I didn't see it. Are you sure?
No, it's just the wonderful cult of the Vorpal fanatics here. That's not something we've seen yet, but considering the red mage might be swinging it, you never... No life charges yet for our runners. This is still kind of scary. Gregley's choosing to go for it. Let's see what... Just 1 life charge. Thank you for that. You're definitely on top of it tonight. There's our first ribbon sighting in Ice Cave. Very, very fortunate. Ribbon protects us for pretty much everything, except for the 1% chance, the 3 in 256 of something getting through and completely blasting you to live.
Now there is, yeah, as you said, there is the ribbons are very good. They are also, there is one that is incentivized, and there's 3 ribbons in the game. So that could be the loose ribbon that is incentivized. We don't know that just yet. We won't know that probably for a while there, but it's something that's in the back of the racer's mind.
Huge pickup for Gregley there, considering where the item is. The Light Axe, definitely able to cast Harm 2 and start blasting some of these undead off, but Gregley doesn't seem to remember that, or is just choosing not to thin the crowds out before.
Captain Nerd on the right-hand side is almost out of Marsh. Uh-oh. And 7-pack of wizards. These things can really beat... There goes one wizard. Now they're beating on his black belt. The red wizard has the opal bracelets, not taking a whole lot of damage. Or, I'm sorry, it actually has silver armor. He moved the opal bracelet.
Definitely want to keep at least 1 white mage up right now, considering that's your blasting.
He's in trouble. Oh, he had to reset out. He used up all his fade charges like you had mentioned, and he paid for it there. The eye grind might have hurt him there. He used up all his fade charges.
Yeah, the eyes again had over 200 HP, so they wouldn't even go down in one round. Grinding them out right now, I don't see that being the actual best.
I mean, the good news is he can now warp. He can do the warp, pick up the incentivized location to leave. There was, I mean, the only thing he really needs from there is the ribbon, so maybe he won't just warp out instantly. He'll go get that and just leave. It's on his way out.
Now, there is a lot on the line tonight for both of these runners. Being 0-2 right now, if you go 0-3, you must win the last two matches in order to even get a shred of advancing past the Swiss rounds. This is definitely going to be the go time and finding all of those crazy plays you would never normally see from anyone.
Now, to point out something right now, Captain Nerd is finally out. He has 2 of his light warriors are poisoned. He's losing 1 HP every time he makes one little movement, or one little square move. And on top of that, Elflin is Lefane, so he has to go all the way back to Corneria to heal, save, and cure the poison.
Gregory Puff going ahead and grabbing the ship again. Gonna go ahead and heal up the party. And chooses not to go for the eye grind. That's definitely the smarter play in my personal. Those unrunnable wizards just make this too much of a gamble, really.
Yeah, this is... The one on the right is going to be... Oh, Gerwolves, that's a Thunder. He saved just as he exited, so it's okay, but he's out of camping gear. So now he's going to have to make that trip all over again.
This could be the potential 2,000-year time loop that we were dreading. Let's hope for Captain Nerd to be able to get back all the way to Corneria with just a few heal potions.
Now, I'm kind of surprised on the left-hand side. Gregory checked that southwest 6 chests with the Frost Wolves. I don't think he needs the money. Kind of an interesting play. I'm not going to hate against it, but at that point, you kind of know all the chests are.
1 charge of Fade left on that mage. That's... Oh, here's another unrunnable. This is the time you would hope to swing with the Light Axe too and hope you get some of those and not have to waste one of those Fade.
Yeah, the Light Axe would definitely save. Those, magic items, or magic, items if you want to call them, are very, very good for those situations. They save you those magic charges.
Captain Nerd making it back to Corneria. Congratulations. Plenty of money to stock up on stuff to avoid this next time as well. Very, very...
If I had to hear that poison noise for as long as he had to right now, I think I'd go crazy. That was a long, long run.
And that's exactly why you go ahead and have a headset on, so you can actually turn the volume down just for those moments.
And as you can see, he just bought 40 Pures? No, he bought more than that. Oh no, he bought 30 Pures.
Smart strategy. You never know what's going to have poison touch in this. We've already seen it earlier, we could see it late as well, and that's not something you want to be without, as there's not really much in the way of...
So with that, now Captain Nerd is kind of caught up. At the same time, he's taking the slower route. He's going to go all the way around back to Elflin, which is Lefane, to go to Crescent. He probably forgot that he can go from Provoca down to Crescent. Just because you probably have a lesser chance of running into the Gerwolves again. You don't want to run into them. And they happen to run in, or you'll find a lot of them going this way.
Gregory, the first to the high seas. Let's see what kind of fun creations that this seed has rolled for us.
Now, where would you go on this? You now have access to the sea for Gregory, obviously. You don't really have much other progression except for the ruby and a bottle if you can find Gaia. Do you go to Melmon? Do you go to on rack.
To be perfectly honest, the way I've seen this tournament run out, I would make a brief trip over to Melman just to see what it is, and then I would head straight to Waterfall at this point, make the early play like certain famous runner earlier on.
You know, I even forgot there's definitely the Ordeals play. The Ordeals play is a good one. You have the spells to get through it. You have the warp. You can warp back if you go through the wrong teleporter, since they are randomized. Captain Nerd on your right-hand side is making his way to Crescent. Crescent is Crescent, which gives you the incentivized location, which is the cube. It's not going to help him progression-wise, but it's another key item.
That's true, definitely hoping to get towards the extra XP for later on. Yeah, Ordeals is also a good play because you have the ship and the canoe. You can actually take the shorter path instead of having to walk all the way over from the airship.
Now, for the people keeping track, on your left, Gregley has 11 key items. If he gets one more, he gets the 1.5 times multiplier on experience gain. So if he turns in this ruby, talks to Sarda, that's 12. He's going to be gaining more experience. So that's good overall with the fade charges and everything like that.
Captain there making it to Crescent, finally going to go ahead and grab the cube from the sages. Hopefully it doesn't get lost in the old men party for very long. Unrunnable Pirates. This is quite the high seas sailing, aren't we? Vanilla Melman, though. Now, something in these flags is there are fights in Melman, so you want to be careful of trying to save before you actually make too much of it. The Almighty Lamp, level 5. We have the white mages for it. Might be able to pick it up later on just for...
The old men on the right-hand side for Captain Nerd are moving so quickly. Captain Nerd was having issues trying to select them. He finally gets his cube.
Honestly, it looked like one of them just teleported straight past, but in reality it was just a big old wall. Now, Gregley choosing to head towards Earth Cave. This is an interesting gamble right here too. But having the ruby, you can at least check Sarda and...
Life 2 exit is in level 6 white magic. Fast is in level 6 black magic, last slot.
Seeing it in level 6 for life and exit, that is extremely unfortunate, but we have the mages for it. We can just designate one to basically get us out and the other one to basically be the healer.
This is interesting. On the right-hand side, Captain Nerd has not sold that Excalibur. And that actually cost him on his run through Marsh because he didn't have enough save items, not enough Piers or camping equipment to make that run back, which made it so dangerous, and he had to reset out a couple times.
A little note there before we get into Sarda. Gregley actually got the uppercut off before the Tigers got it off. That was definitely the smart play just to get rid of them, because those things are... Oh, and there's the floater. Now, do you actually head to Ordeals, or do you go ahead and just run it back as soon as you possibly can?
Run it back. The encounter, or the fact, floater is just too important. You don't fight anything. You know, it allows you to traverse so much quicker compared to the ship. You just go there and do it. And that gives Gregley 12 key items. He can grind out his black belt now if he so chooses, making, if he wants to search for loose items, a lot quicker, with that very beefy black belt if he wants, make things run away, or he can just continue looking for those key items until he's in go mode and then grind. I mean, the world is his oyster right now. I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, Gregley choosing to use a fade slot to blast the Sahajin instead of saving it for those unrunnable pirates. Going for the XP, I definitely don't...
And on the right, Captain Nerd is not... these enemies are not being nice. Everybody, the crack kills, and Hydras have it. So... just say no to drugs, kids, okay?
Also, say yes to lamp for the simple fact that they have dark as well, and you know what happens when you have dark. You need. Speaking of hailing things, we have cobras and hydras right here, back to back. At 37 minutes, Gregory has taken to the skies, however, not so much sailing the high seas anymore. We're gonna start to get town checks, and Vanilla Gaia.
The Vanilla Gaia, the Vanilla Crescent, and Melmon.
Those are some nice level 7 spells. Ice 3, Cure 4, and Wall for our runners. You might not see level 7 spell charges with how this seed likes to hand out experience. You might just figure you want to go straight to start punching things as fast as...
Alright, we're gonna see what the Fairy has for Gregory on the left. Captain Nerd is going to Ice Cave, which will lead to the ship. And if he turns in that ruby, he will get his floater.
Speaking of saying no to drugs, we find ourselves the herb from the fairy. I guess when you get trapped in a bottle for all that period of time, that's your only source of food. But finding the zombies, and they're hitting... not that bad.
And the wizards on the right-hand side are beating up on Captain Nerd. Ice 2 doesn't do great damage because the wizards resist it, but the Fade comes out to clean him out. So he survives that, and it was a small pack of wizards, so he didn't lose very much there, except for some health. Gregory on the left is making his way down to Lefane. It could be Provoca. We have not found that yet.
How does Nerd get back into this? That's a very good question, considering we found the airship from delivering the Ruby and seeing Sarda. Waterfall might be a little bit of a gamble, but you never know. It'll have some progression most likely, but it's not guaranteed to be the one that Captain Nerd's looking for at this point.
On the right, the wizards once again causing problems, cause another wipe for our runners. On the left, if you were a vegetarian, I am sorry you just witnessed the tyros getting eaten.
Those are friends, not food. Anyways, Gregory heading out from Lefade and just heading straight back up to the northern side. Going back to Elfland to deliver the herb, we're going to have some check on what the prince has.
I kind of like that play. He goes down, he checks what it is, he sees it's Onra, he doesn't have the Oxiel, and he gets, and the sleeping guy apparently was playing the lute somehow.
Oh, and you're just... it's your favorite little instrument. You want to go ahead and have it sing you to sleep along with playing it, and then it just kind of falls asleep instead. Now, having the tail is actually a good time to go check out the Cardia Islands, which has a lot of items and the ability to promote pretty early.
Now, the only thing is it kind of puts a predicament on these runners is, for Gregory, it's good because he can teach that Fade to his red wizard, but the black belt then only gains magic defense of 1 per level instead of the 4 it gains as a black belt. If he gets enough ribbons, that's okay. He can put the ribbon on his black belt and it's not a problem. But if he puts the ribbon on the black belt, his armor is only 1 then, because the black belt gains armor based on levels with nothing equipped.
Some interesting factoids right there. Yeah, what do you do in that situation? Just swing for the fences and hope that you connect with the bosses before they hit you, or do you play it safe and build evasion, which having Invisible 2 on 3 different casters can actually be a benefit here, especially with the white shirt.
I think I would promote, honestly. You could put the ribbon on it. You got 3 people to just kind of tank for you in a way, and the black belt should kill anything really quickly.
Yes, indeedy. Here we go. 41 minutes promotion to our advanced classes. Welcome to the adult. Those are some very young adults, though.
Captain Nerd has made it to the eye room. He still has to, he's going to do the warp trick. He's going to find out that it's the ship. Now, there is a ribbon that is hidden on that first floor. If he goes down and he does the half circle, if you want to call it.
That is actually I would finish walking the rest of this out instead of just warping back, and that looks to be the play that Captain Nerd's doing, except finding those unrunnables without that light axe that we found in this dungeon as well. That'll be on the next floor up though, but ooh, taking a lot of hits on that. Gregory going ahead and heading over to Onrack, which is in fact Provoca, so we're going to get to see what the pirates have as long as level 2 magic.
Yeah, at this point, he just needs Chime and Rod, and he's in go mode, from what I can see.
Quad X, Fear, and Harm 4. Fear is what drives the darkness away from us, and Harm 4 banishes the undead back to Winston.
Fast for Asher, and Fast was level 6 in the 4th slot. Temper, I don't think we've seen it yet.
I haven't seen a Temper sighting unless it was an elf one, but that would have been probably a pickup for Gregory, like early on too, so... As a possibility, it could be level 8 in either Gaia or...
The pirates give the Chime. So that puts Gregory one more item away from go mode, as much as I can... No, he needs the key too. So he needs key and he needs Rod, and he'll be able to kill all the Fiends and go into the Temple of Fiends Revisited. On the right, Frost Dragons are giving Captain Nerd a little bit of an issue there. He's down to 5 heal potions.
This is definitely a painful note to always load up on lots of healing items, especially when you don't have a lot of care spells access. Now we have the Apocalypse Ponies in the Waterfall, which are hit pretty hard, but they also are very squishy, so...
And because I've always been told not to do math on Twitch, I apparently cannot count, and we still need the Oxyel. I was looking at the fairy bottle, and I was counting that as the Oxyel.
That's alright. I forgive you. Unrunnable Frost Giants on Captain Nerd's side, though. Using up those spell charges. Nope. Gonna go ahead and... Ooh. Get...
Giants in general, Frost Giants and Fire Giants, they always hit hard. And this is bad because on the right, Captain Nerd is running out of heal potions. He's got to check this chest, which has a trap tile, and if they've rolled anything sort of AoE spells, he's going to lose more and more health, and it's going to be rough for him.
Finding 2 heal pots in the chest themselves, though, is actually more of a blessing than a curse at this point, because, again, when you only had a couple left, that's definitely something you don't mind seeing. But only finding money here definitely probably scared a little bit. Gregory taking that monster tile and just not showing it any sort of ability for tact whatsoever, but we do find the key on the robot, so that's, again, we're only missing Oxyel at this point. We also need, let's see, is that the rod that we're missing as well? Yes, so for our Earth...
Yep, he needs... On the right, Captain Nerd finds the ribbon. That's going to be very helpful to at least save his groups if he runs into anything with a deadly AoE spell, you know, crack, like the Hydras have, the zap, the thunder, and stuff like that. We have not found any of our loose items. There are 2 loose items, though we did find a loose ribbon, which might have been the incentivized ribbon. We don't know yet. We still have Ordeals available. That's our last incentivized location, which Griggly's heading to right now. And on the right, Captain Nerd finally makes it out. He's got the ribbon, he's got the ship. The ship is at the old Provoca, so hopefully he remembers that, and he goes up instead of going down. It goes to the nearest dock leading to the inner sea.
Gregory finally entering into Ordeals. We're going to go ahead and check out the wonderful cousins to the green Medusas from certain other runners early on in this. Hopefully these ones don't have death touch as well. Question in chat, the tail was on the princess actually. Pretty really early.
Sarah was hanging on to the tail the entire time, was looking out for our light warriors, wanted them to grow up. The nuke is being charged. That's our strongest, hardest hitting spell in the game. So now we get to finally see the red wizard shine. I don't think Wrigley has actually picked up Fade for his red wizard yet.
We haven't been back to that particular town yet, so nope. But we might be able to do that once we start getting into Temple of...
I believe Griggly on the left did a little dive, an informational dive. Kind of knows where he's going a lot better now. On the right, Captain Nerd has gone back to Crescent, which is not where the ship is going to be, but he could be picking up heal potions and camping equipment right now.
You have 30k, definitely want to do that, especially seeing how critical every little step in every potion has actually been for Captain Nerd this particular adventure. You got it.
And I just seen sorcerers, and it's been pulled out in chat. They have death touch. This is big, as it's been pointed out. Bridge of Destiny, you can run into mud goals with up to 6 of those sorcerers. They can wipe. Not only can you run into our famous robot chicken, but you can run into up to 6 sorcerers with the death touch.
I like the robot chicken references. Sadly, these Medusa cousins don't seem to have anything interesting on them, but we definitely found the death touch elsewhere, and those sorcerers are, as you said, way more easily found than this regular Medusa. Choosing not to run and just going ahead and blasting into oblivion for some extra XP. That's not a bad call. We have the fade charges, fortunately, to make that easier to...
Yeah, he's got the fade, and he's also got nuke, so now his red wizard is even more useful now, instead of just casting little ice 3s. On the right, Captain Nerd is about to find out that the ship is not at the Crescent dock. Griggly Puff has made it through the teleporters, finds the sorcerers. The sorcerers only have 1 hit, so unlike a certain exciting match where we've seen Medusas with 12 hits with the death touch, a single hit is a lot easier to handle compared to 12 hits.
Something just noticed that Captain Nerd's doing is actually running from the Peds. I don't approve of this at all, especially with how troublesome this particular team composition. Actually ran from 2 sets of them now. Finding the katana over on Gregley's side. No thief here to take advantage of that, so those are getting sold. But stun touch on the man-cats. Oh boy.
Unfortunately, I think Captain Nerd, one of our newer players, has not realized where the ship gets sent to, but I think he's heading in the right direction where the ship is. The Bane Sword on the left-hand side by Griggly Puff is a good pickup. It allows him to help AoE clear, but he's already got the nuke and the fade charges. But if he wants to insta-kill, say, Kraken or Itia, it makes it a little bit easier, but it's a chance.
Or maybe even Chaos. Maybe.
You know, you gotta live with those 3% chances. Or, I'm sorry, 1%, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 1%. 3 and 256, roughly 1%. finding a slab though. Do you grind on the zombie dragons here? Let's see how squish.
With as many fade charges as he has, I would use up the fade charges if you have the houses. Possibly, but it looks like they took a couple charges, so maybe not at this point.
I would have taken about 4 fights or so just to empty off the fade charges, head outside, save, and then just walk it back. Like, it's not a bad call. Oh, there's the Catman with Thunder though again. Oh, looks like Thunder is actually on the Medusa script, which means it's going to be seen in multiple sites.
And there's the Thunder again. Gregory instantly seen the Catman, instantly reset. On the right, Captain Nerd is making his way to the Provoca dock. He will find his ship. If he goes to the Titan and feeds the Titan and talks to Sarda, he will get the floater, which allows him to be in the air. So that is the play. No, Captain Nerd, back. No. Oh boy.
We have ourselves an adventure, folks. Buckle up, we're gonna be here for a little while. Gregory going ahead and run it back to Vanilla Crescent and stocking up on.
Now he's seen that one dock, which probably confused him a little bit. He didn't check the Provoca one. I'm not sure what he's going to do here. He's looking around. I think he's realized that there's actually 2 docks.
There's also the ones near Conaria and Dwarf Cave, but most of them get sent to Provoca. Oh, there's even one right there by the Peninsula of Power.
Yes.
The ship, though.
Yes, that one is a little sneaky of a dock right there, just kind of hanging out there. So he finds his ship. You could probably hear his sigh of relief at this point, since he's found. We're about to get the slab turning on the left by Gregory Puff.
Captain, they're gonna go ahead and buy some more magic. This is actually a good play. Most of this magic is cheap here, however, so no problems. Heal 3 is also a nice pickup right here, getting on as many people as you possibly can. Question in chat, I don't think I've ever seen it appear at Matoya's dock before.
I believe yes. If it's a loose ship in Matoya, yeah.
Chat pointing out that is indeed the correct thing. It generally tends to set itself near the nearest dock whenever you unlock it loose, so good information. Thank you very much. We get to see what the Lupa Lupas give us. It is the crystal. Oh, that's actually really convenient.
Yeah. We still have 2 loose items, I believe. Although at this point, with that crystal, we still need Oxiel and Rod, so one of them is going to be loose at this point.
And let's see what's on our wonderful Black Witch Matoya. It's the Oxiel itself. She is definitely open to go ahead and run in there. Now, do you check?
For him, I think he's gonna grind. Based on what he's doing, he's checking the lock chest, all the easy stuff, hoping it's there. I like it, since he's in that location anyways. Probably something I would do is for grinding wise, or going to Mirage. There's the Masa. That's really good for the black belt to level up early on if you want to do an early solo grind.
As much as I make fun of it being a second place sword, that's actually a really strong find for Gregory, and that's not something you would just casually dismiss. Unlike the wonderful Excalibur, which got sent to the trash where it rightfully.
I mean, for Mirage, the best part about the Mirage play, I know a lot of people say it is, it's really good experience on most all fights. And there's a lot of chests there. You can do the C2, but you kind of run into the thing of, do you go towards Kraken first, and then go towards the Mermaids if you need to? That's the only difference between the Mirage and Sky Castle is they're all kind of together. You know, they're kind of spread out in ways, but there's a defense sword, so that helps out to keep his casters or his black belt alive if there's any, you know, heavy hitting attacking fiends later on.
To be 100% honest with you, with both the massa and the defense, I would possibly consider going back and just eye grinding now. Get it out of, and then just level it up to either 32 or 42 and never worry about it again. Just punch the living daylights out of it.
No. Yes. I think so too. It allows you to check the chest a little bit quicker too. Because if the black belt, or the master in this case, is really high level, they can break the morale of the enemies and they'll run, allowing you to get through encounters a little bit quicker sometimes. So that might help out to check the chests. Gerwolf's on the right. Captain Nerd makes it through. He's going to be getting his floater soon. He's making his way to Sarda, which is a good play. Which is the play.
Definitely happy to see that for Captain Nerd. It's not something you want to see as someone get lost in the endless time loop. We have a heal helmet, the wonderful dragon sword, a cabin, a house, and money. That's actually not worth really keeping, but you have warp, so it's only 1 floor.
Now, what's kind of funny is I just looked at that the Ogre, and I just ran a seed before this one, and they had nuke, and I was like, oh my god, run Captain Nerd, and I go, oh wait, never mind, that's not the same seed that I just played.
I have a wizard staff right here. Confused strats are pretty much meme for some bosses, but you never know, it could be that 1% odds we've been talking about, have it land and just make some fights really.
So the reason why for somebody has might see the TNT up and it doesn't have the turn in is because it is a free the canal, so you don't the TNT icon doesn't actually turn into anything at this point. And Grigory's
heading into volcano. Now the question is, do you want to check everything in here and full clear this, or do you want to just head straight to carry and figure it out?
I think he's going if I was him, I wouldn't be checking these right-hand chests right away. I would do a clear of the armory section, you know, that left-hand side where all the chests are. Warp out, save, go back in, go to carry, kill him, you know, check all those chests on his way down. If there's no loose item there that allows me to go, then I will go and check them after I teleport out of killing carry.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, again, these chests on the right-hand side are really long and drawn out. There's plenty of tiles that will force you to encounter into this stuff. I would skip these, just rush straight for the, like, lower armory, as we call it, and stock up there. We have 2 heal items. We can go ahead and just have infinite ease when it comes to going over the lava tiles. There's a pro ring in that chest. That kind of makes it worth it. They weren't too expensive. They were like 8k or so in the shops.
Yeah, I think they were about 8k. I don't remember where they were. I forgot to write it down, but you know, they give you the protection from instant death, and they are the second best absorb in that slot. So, you know, they're and they can be equipped by everybody. They are very important.
Yes, indeedy. Let's see. Gregory just whipping out the old charges, going to town on those giants and friends, as it were. Soft potion, definitely not worth the trip.
Now, this is a black belt comp, so what's going to happen is Gregory's going to probably grind off of the Agamas, which has been pointed out in chat. So Agama facts are always a good thing at this point. Captain Nerd is flying finally. He is, he's had a rough journey here. A lot of Gerwolves, a lot of things poisoning him. Oh, another ribbon picked up on the left by Gregory Puff. That's 2 now. If you were Captain Nerd at this point, Lyra, do you assume you're really behind, or do you think that maybe your opponent is really behind too?
Considering what's been going on so far, by the way, another heal item there, I would feel tremendously behind at this point. Neither the Ice Cave or Marsh went well at all, and you can assume your opponent probably didn't do all that hot in Marsh, but Ice Cave, I wouldn't know how to feel.
I'm starting
to... Zeus Gauntlet.
Yeah. The Zeus Gauntlet lets you cast Lit 2 for free, essentially. Doesn't go against your spell charges. On the right, Captain Nerd apparently has something against his red mage. He keeps dying. On the left, Wrigley has checked out that entire second floor volcano. He's warping out. He saves. He's going to go back down. This is going to go check more chests for those 2 loose items. He needs 1, which is the rod, and he'll be able to go. But he also needs to grind. So we're in it for a little bit longer here, everybody.
Considering both of them are running black belts, you know your opponent's going to have to do the black belt grind eventually in order to have a decent shot at clearing Topher. The question is, when do you think they're going to do it? And for Captain Nerd, I would definitely say that's how I'm feeling behind, unless my opponent's doing the grind first, in which case I have enough time to catch up and then gamble on lower levels of it. Oh, Mage Staff is actually a nice pickup too.
Yep, Mage Staff allows you to cast Fire 2, just like the Zeus Gauntlet does for Lit 2. Now this is an Agama find. If Agama rolls something very bad, this is a very good discovery by Gregory, because if Agama has something like poison or toxic or something like that, he may run out, or if it's got some sort of attack debuff, he might not do the Agama grind.
So we just found a wonderful chest with about 50,000 gold in it. That was actually the super good chest, well, one of them anyways, and the Agamas have about 300 to 400 HP, absolutely not worth the spell charges in my opinion. This is like the same situation with the zombie dragons, just head on over to the eyes if you're going to do grind.
And on the right, if you blinked it for a second, you might have missed it. Anklos have that poison. Almost wipes out Captain Nerd's party. These enemies just have it out for him.
These enemies definitely have not come to play as far as these runners are concerned. Both of them have had a rough show of a lot of the trash encounters of both of their previous races, and that's why they're down here now. Again, you gotta feel like you gotta do something really, really crazy in order to get away from that 0-3 situation. Finding the black shirt, though, that's actually super helpful. That's pretty much all the cheap nuking items that we have access to now.
Black shirt cast Ice 2, so at the moment Gregory Puff is able to cast Fire 2, Lit 2, Ice 2 for free. That doesn't go against his spell charges. On the right, Captain Nerd is up to level 10, 11 on his characters. He still hasn't turned in a tail yet. He was in Cardia, so I'm assuming he's afraid to do it. He wants to keep the magic defense, the growth on his black belt for as long, or to keep going up.
Oh, the Hydras have crack as well. Yeah, we remember that from earlier, and Captain Nerd's definitely figuring that out. It looks like Gregley is interested in possibly grinding his Agamos. I'm curious as to how far Gregley will go.
With this group, I would say, I mean, 32 lets the black belt get 8 hits. I mean, that takes a long time. You know, the experience in this one is not as high compared to some of the other seeds or flags that have been seen in this. You know, 42 is probably out of the range of possibilities. It takes even longer, but that gives you the 10 hits, and the black belt becomes basically the One Punch Man.
We just saw the Agamas do have sleep, though. Yeah, that's a little bit scary, but Gregley's gonna go ahead and take a grind on these and try to swing for the ceilings. We'll see how far we're actually down here. Captain Nerd actually going ahead and battling the pirates and showing them no mercy. Yar.
Yep. The pirates are going to take the ice tube to the face. They're going to go down. He's going to get his chime, which opens up Mirage. Now, on the left, Gregley Puff does have to worry about the sleep, but at the same time, he has the ribbon on that black belt, or on that master, and he won't have to really worry about it unless it hits for that little 1% chance. Now, if it was Sleep 2, I believe that is the one that is it doesn't have an element and can go through a rip.
That'd be the thing to watch out for right here. So level 20, we're gonna go ahead and Captain Nerd running into the Apocalypse ponies and Waterfall. Let's see how well this is getting handled. Now the robot definitely had a decent item. I believe that was the key, and definitely need that preferred crash.
And the key allows you to make it out of the portal room inside of Temple of Fiends Revisited, but it also, in this case, allows you to get the Masamane, which essentially allows your black belt to hit very hard early. Because generally he won't start hitting hard until about level 21, 22 when he picks up that 6th hit. In this case now, he's able to grind up to level 28, where his fists begin to out-damage the Masa in this case.
There was an interesting discussion during one of the races last night. Chat might be able to point us out the exact numbers on it, but I do remember 42 was like, if crazy emergency break glass levels, 32 was pretty like solid for the rest of the game. And then around 28 or so is when Masa starts getting taken off of the...
Yeah, it's right around 28 is when you'll generally see them take out, because that's when the attacks or the damage of his fists can equal the Masa's.
Agama's also having spell Razzle Dazzle on the spell list. Thank goodness.
Yeah, these Wiz Mummies, and Paralisks, I'm sorry, Cockatrices do not, Paralisk did not want the Captain Nerd to get through that easily, and once again, his red mage is laying on the ground, taking a dirt.
I don't think Gregley is going to stop until just able to steamroll through everything, so definitely interested in seeing where the rest of this goes. This Captain Nerd is going ahead and checking the chest there. Not finding too much, but there was money, and more importantly, the key, so now we can go ahead and just head on out of here.
Yeah, the beauty of Warp lets you exit out really quickly. Just like Exit, the only difference is Warp only takes you back floor. So in this case with Waterfall, there's only one floor, so he's able to do it real quickly. On the left, we have the black belt is now punching. Wow, that black belt hit for 450 damage, and that Agma did not die. These things are beefy Agma.
If they're taking punches of 450 and not dying, they have about 500 HP. Yeah, you definitely want a few more levels if you're going to go ahead and start swinging harder on these and just want...
Now, for as people are kind of talking, we have, I guess, one incentivized person to talk to still, which is Astos if we find the crown. And he may give the rod, which is what we need, or the rod could be still loose. Though at this point, I'm starting to think that one of those ribbons was loose.
Captain Nerd going ahead and promoting right there. Congratulations, welcome to the adult.
Welcome to adulthood. Your red wizard, who has been dying constantly, can now cast Nuke and Fate.
And also now you have to pay taxes. Sucks to be you! Gonna go ahead and head back to Vanilla Gaia and start seeing what's in the rest of these. Now, we've seen these spell lists here before. There's 3 really good spells, but they're all level 7. We haven't seen the level 8 shop in the middle there. But I don't think we're gonna ever...
Now for the question in chat, the vampire hasn't been checked, but it's not incentivized. Now it doesn't mean that there's nothing that can be there. We still have 1, possibly 2 loose items. We have found 2 ribbons, which are incentivized. We just don't know where they are. You know, if those 2 ribbons, if one of them was the incentivized ribbon, if that makes sense to you. On the right, Captain Nerd picks up his herb from the fairy. That leads to the loot once he gets to it.
Back to the sky as we go again, as Gregory is starting to get up there in levels. I believe I just saw 30. Starting to get to the point where it's taking more than 2 of these to actually have a level up. We're starting to get into not crunch time, but punch time.
Yep, now that black belt, he still only has 6 hits. When he gets up to 32, he's definitely going to be one-shotting that Agama a lot more consistently. He's doing it off of crits, though, right now. For those watching, Captain Nerd, if he goes north to Corneria, locked chests, there is the best weapon, at least in the early game for sure, Masa, that is available, that helps with any grinding.
Getting closer to 32 right now, actually. There we go. Still going, though. We might be seeing a ceiling break.
Interesting. I'm kind of surprised he's still going.
I'm not. You're already here. You've already dropped your entire party to make room for this. Keep going, all the way. You have the heal potions. Do it. Just do it so you don't have to stop again to try and...
I mean, I can see this if you didn't have the, the spell charges. But you have Fade level 1. You have, on the right-hand side, we do see 2 Hydras and Gators. The Hydras have crack, but Captain Nerd manages to get through. But to get back on it for Gregory, I mean, your casters aren't completely useless in this case. I mean, they can help you to clear out the bosses. And at this point, I mean, the amount of time you're going to take in this, and you still have to find a loose item, I would want to, I want to begin searching for them now.
Chat confirming my greatest fear that Nerd hadn't saved since just leaving Waterfall. Had to go back and do this all over again, but we are going to see what's happening in the Titan Treasury. And that's a big load of nothing. Strike 4 for that. Just warp on out, pretend it never...
And Hypes Nova in here brings up a good point. Because he did the early black belt promote, he doesn't have the magic defense that he normally would have. He's got the ribbon equipped, so because of that, his armor essentially is 1, but he does have opal bracelet, so it's 43. So I guess that's still good. With the pro ring, you're almost at 50. This seems like a very, very safe grind at this point.
Absolutely, for sure. Even the Agama, if it starts to get through and gets the first turn, it's probably not going to hit you for very much, and the spells are just bouncing.
On the right-hand side, Captain Nerd is going to pick up his Masa here. It is in one of these chests. I don't remember which one it is, although for some reason the small little hole is a little too small for his light warrior. He wasn't able to get through. There's the Masa.
Would you like some Hawaiian punch or maybe some high?
Want some high punch.
But the question is, how many punches does it take you? 1, 10? We know. Gregory, hour 18, gonna go ahead and attack our first Fiends, the Mistress of Fire.
Alright, nobody blink. Let's see how... Ooh, 5 hits, 38 damage. He doesn't have anything. 8 hits for 464 with a couple crits. Carrie decides that he's going to be a little tanky and take 2 shots. Gregory, I think, should have done a couple more grinding. I expected the 1 shot on Carrie. He let me down.
That'll be okay.
I'm hoping maybe Kraken will show him how to actually hit things properly.
So Captain Nerd finally getting around to selling that Excalibur back to the shop from what's it? Better late than never.
Yep, he finally got rid of the Excalibur. That would have been very helpful earlier on, but it's okay. He's gonna... They're kind of high-fiving here in Corneria a little bit. Yeah. The Fade charges are going to be good. More Invis too. So on top of maybe casting 1 defense, he can have his casters just cast Invis 2, and you're going to be just about evasion capped very quickly. Almost in 1 round.
With this much money, I would probably just meme around a little bit and buy 10 adamants since they're that cheap. But I'm not these runners. These runners are holding on to their money for very good reason. You never know what you're gonna need. Might be interested in some of those gold bracelets that we saw earlier on too. Those were quite steep.
Gregory's going to Sky. There's a very high congestion of chests, which has been pointed out, and they all go in one direction as they lead you to the Tiamat. Captain Nerd didn't save, took a wipe. Is that what happened? Because he just turned back in the herb, or I'm sorry, he got the herb from the fairy. Sorry, excuse me. Which will lead to the loot Oh, the Gerwolves.
Yeah, it was the Gerwolves outside of the dwarf cave that originally wiped Captain Nerd. Gonna go ahead and find the Masmy now.
And as we found out earlier in Ordeals by Greggly Puff, in Ordeals, sorcerers have the Death Touch. So on the Bridge of Destiny, and even on the maze portion of this, of Sky Castle, there are a chance of getting up to 6 of those sorcerers.
Self-correction there, that was the defense, not the mass immune. They're both silver. They're both somewhat useful. You know what I'm looking for. Guess Captain Nerd's probably looking for those other loose items. Definitely not.
No, he's doing the same kind of checks that Greggly did once he knew that he had the key. You know, he checked the key locations. There's a Gerwolf. Okay, it did not cast. He got out of that quick. I would warp out and say, no more McGerwolves, please. You guys have already sent me back multiple times.
There's that one monster that everybody has some sort of PTSD and is totally afraid of whenever they see it. Chimeras are kind of one of mine, personally. And they're unrunnable in this seed, but not as scary as those Thunder Catmen. And Greggly, go ahead and
Thunder. Thundercats. Oh! I had to.
I forgive you. Because chat did it first. Blame chat. But we love chat anyways.
We love chat right up until we say anything that deals with math, and then they riot against us.
Proof that Team Math is definitely not the best sword. It's definitely Team Vorpal.
That's right, a Team Vorpal. So Captain Nerd is traveling around. Because of that wipe he had on the Gerwolves, he's kind of forgotten what he's checked, what he hasn't checked at this point, because it was a long wipe. So he's fallen even farther behind because of it. It's unfortunate. He has to go through the promotion again. On the left, Greggly is one item away from go mode before he can kill all the Fiends and go into Temple of Fiends Revisited. He just needs the rod. We've learned that McCrack kills from Hydras and safety saves will prevent you from getting lost.
Thor Hammer for Greggly there. That's definitely something you want to go ahead and grab. Launches the Sun Sword into Oblivion though. I can definitely get along with.
How dare he? Where's Woad at? Woad? Get in here and handle Greggly for me. How dare.
You don't exactly need something that burns your soul just to equip it. Greggly finding the wonderful party platter of hot wings and choosing to just nope on out of that. Instead, going to the best friend and punches it to death.
Now, as much as we've talked about, Captain Nerd, not finding the ship after Ice Cave, and having a little bit of the issues and stuff, I gotta admit, he's been having a lot more, I'd say, the bad luck compared to Greggly, at least, in the early game. There was a lot of enemies that he seemed to just run into that he was not able to get away that Greggly was able to. And it set him back, in the early game.
That's what we affectionately refer to in this community as ZarNG, as Captain Nerd definitely finds 6 scorpions. Rocket's like a hurricane here, and we have no bull either, but Captain Nerd definitely wants no bull of that and just fades them all to death. So
for Lord Fizzlebeef, who just joined, Captain Captain Nerd on the right actually went with this party at the beginning. On the left, Greggly Puff actually went with Black Belt, Red Mage, Thief, and then re-rolled it when level 1 Fade was available. And so now they kind of have the same party.
So, fun thing we didn't notice earlier because we just saw it for the first time. Soria's has Squint. It's the cousin Agama's revenge, basically.
And Fade was also red the wizard learnable. So once after class promotion, the red wizard was able to learn both Fade at level 1, and it was also able to learn Nuke at level 4. So the red mage became very, very valuable. Hydras in the early game for their canoe trips was very deadly. They had crack, which killed many times of ours. Gerwol's, what was it, Zap? And Thunder, I believe, right?
Yeah, the Thunder spell is on the Medusa script, so we have at least one more sighting of it coming up. We've seen it twice. Once by Catman, the other was by Gerwolf.
And something to look out for Greggly Puff. The next 2 floors, once he gets past, or not, I'm sorry. It's not actually the next floor, it's the one after that. The Maze Room, plus the Bridge of Destiny, we have found out that the sorcerers have the Death Touch. So if he runs into that mud goal with up to 6 sorcerers, he could be taking a wipe.
Greggly finding the mortal 5 pennies in a chest, probably a little salty about that. More money in these chests here.
I don't remember seeing anything from the mud goals. I think they just kind of hit hard.
So Trans Revolution is something I don't believe we've seen yet, or if so we saw it much earlier and wouldn't be something that we would see now. I believe I just remember Dazzle and all.
Now, Greggly Puff is definitely feeling not having the black belt leveled up normally before promotion. He's getting tranced and gazed, all that kind of stuff right now, still.
That's why I'm surprised there wasn't going up to 42 instead of just 30.
And on the right, Captain Nerd found his second ribbon over in Volcano. To answer your question, Lord Fizzlebeef, I believe he moved it after he killed Carrie.
Oh, there's the third ribbon right there, actually. Right there in, what is it, third floor?
So that is definitely for sure a loose ribbon incentivized.
So that would be your one loose item right there, though?
Yeah. So we have one more loose item that may or may not be needed. It all depends. Actually, wait, no.
We still need the rod, and we still need Oxiel for Captain.
No, we have the crown. Or I mean, oh, sorry, we have the Oxy.
Good catch right there. Gold bracelet for Greggly Puff. That's actually nice too for our mages that are definitely behind an XP.
Is this? Yeah, so we got the rod. We haven't found any other loose items. We still have rod and crown available. Am I missing something?
Captain Nerd actually hasn't found the crown yet for the Axios. Looking back though, that was the Matoya Crystal turn, and that was actually. There's the 6-man cat party pack. That's actually something that Gregley's not gonna mess around with. Just choose to blast into oblivion. Don't blame him.
Yep, and he's about to go in. Is he in the maze? I didn't actually see. I believe he's going. Yep, he's entering in the maze. Now he's got the sorcerers. If they run in. So he's going to be on the lookout. I would expect if Warmech is runnable, he's probably going to run from it. His casters don't really need the charges at this point. No point trying to take a unnecessary wipe for a dangerous Warmech, I would think. And he's just got to hope not to run into the Sorcerer's pack and hope that they don't ambush. That could cause some issues here.
Here we go. 2 fights of doom, basically. The Sorcerer Mud Bulls you were talking about, and the wonderful Tin Can himself. But first thing, Red Hydras, and the Red Hydras weren't interested in really going. And here we go. Here's one with 3 swords.
He remembers it. He's going to cast Nuke and some Fades. He gets that first turn Nuke. The Sorcerers should die, which they do, so he's going to be safe from that.
Next encounter, just 4 Hydras. Yeah, those Hydras are pretty cowardly too, but we get away. 4 Hydras.
We got some Warmech with less RNGs. Ooh, okay, 6 Sorcerers. He has no nukes. He should have the Fade charges, unless he's already used them up. The Sorcerers are running away. This is good news for him. Okay, he's broken. They're more rapid.
Almost home free, just a couple steps away, as Captain Nerd is choosing to continue to go ahead and go through. As we come into Tiamat 1.
He starts the attack on his black belt and 2 Invis 2s on his white mage. I didn't see what his red mage is doing. Let's see what... Oh, Quad X, a little early. Didn't go on after the black belt attacked. Maybe we'll get the black belt one hit. Ooh, the hold goes off on the black belts. The ribbonless black belt has been penalized.
And we don't have Cure 4 in order to offset that. We're just going to have to start swinging with the Red Wizard, since the Red Wizard's pretty much on his spell tree. Red Wizard Massa, though, I can definitely get behind that.
I believe he taught him Saber. I'm surprised he's not using Saber at this point. You never know how long this is going to last on his black belt. On the right, Captain Nerd is grinding, it looks like, off of Agama. Tia swings 2 hits, 104. That's not going to do a lot with 2 Invises already on.
The heal staff strats coming into play. I'm definitely happy with those, because you don't have much to do with them. Why even bother just hitting the wait button? Try to heal it as best.
Gregley can breathe now. The black belt is now unleashed. He's about to do some serious kung fu punching action here, hopefully. 6 hits, 396, couple crits. Not too bad for an unpowered up attack. He did have Bane, which is pointed out. I'm surprised he hasn't been tossing it out. I think he kind of forgot about it.
White Wizard's going ahead and tossing the heal staffs again and the helmet as well. I'm still liking it. It's a little bit slower, but it's a heck of a lot safer as we're not getting through this fight very.
Gregley's black belt, or I'm sorry, master, did not work out his arms. Hit for only 190. The last hit hits for 390 with a couple crits that time. His One Punch Man is definitely slacking today. 6 hits, almost 400 damage. Finally kills Tiamat. That's his second orb lit.
Now, if only we had a hooray dwarf in order to help us out. As Captain Nerd has level 14, still on the agony.
He's doing a 4-party grind on the right. I mean, I know he needs at least some levels. I kind of understand it. I mean, you kind of got to know that you're behind at this point, and you might, just try and get your black belt at 32 or something, and just try and make a play at this point. You kind of need to. I can't hate him for it. I mean, you got to play your game.
Looks like Gregory has just entered in C at 1 hour 37, not even bothering to think about mermaids, but stops for the random chest right there and gets a unrunnable lobster and sea troll.
I don't hate him for it. I like the Griggly Pluff play. You go crack inside, you take those chests on the way. If it happens to be the loose item that you need, you can move on from there. It's going to be a loose crown, I believe. The crown will lead to the rod. So, you hope that on the way to Kraken, you find that loose crown.
As we head into floor 2, still running into those unrunnable encounters. How many spell charges do you use here, though? That is the thing. When you have a black belt, I can just take 2 turns and just nail those, but we run into the big Sahajan encounter, and there's only one wizard, which is good, but these gremlins are definitely scared of him too, and I'm as well, especially nukes and punches all over the place.
As long as you're not wasting 2 turns casting, if you can take out most of the enemies with 1 cast, have one of them lined up as there's our loose crown. So the play by numbers, you go in the She Shrine, you get it, you hope that on the way to Kraken you find it. Griggly Puff knows that's his last item. He's in go mode. That's exactly what he's gonna do. On the right, Captain Nerd's about to take on Carrie. It's gonna be a different fight compared. Oh, he's got no heal potion. Does he have heal? Okay, he's got healed 3 on his white wizard. Now it's going to be a different fight compared to what Griggly had, which had a level 37 black belt. He's going to have to cast some spells. He's going to have to play a little more safely.
So here comes the defense sword strats. I like where this is going. Going to go ahead and buff on the surprisingly on the red wizard and not the black belt. Black belt still swinging massive, 4 hits, 75. Nothing to do but it keeps.
At this point, Captain Nerd just cast the fade charges. Carrie generally doesn't have a whole lot of help. Just cast the fade, hope for good hits, and kill him.
Fade 93, super low roll, 3 hits, 13. That's not much either, but Carrie only has poison touch. That's perfect. Opts to use a pure potion instead of just going and using fade charges, perhaps. We're at Fade 220, Massa swing 4 hits, 268. We're good to go here. Captain Nerd has finally got onto that first orb at hour 41. This has been a very challenging seed for both of them.
Yes, it has been a very challenging seed. A lot of these enemies do have a lot of AoE spells, a lot of death, a lot of deadly spells to them, and in some cases they have deadly attacks, like the sorcerers and Ordeals.
Gregory doing a little party arrangement here. Gonna go ahead and start on Kraken 1. Invis 2, and let's see, was that a Brack I just saw?
That was a
Kraken
Brack,
opens
but
with Thunder. There's the
opens up with a whole lot of lightning there. His 649 from his his master, so that was a good return attack by Gregory's master. He's trying the Brack strats again.
Brack misses, and Viz 2 going off again. Gonna go ahead and evade up. 2 hits 87, not that bad. 7 hits 778, there we go. Punch straight to death, and we get our next orb.
Yeah, that's his third orb. Kraken really didn't do a whole lot there. Just kind of sat there and got punched in the face. The only thing left is Earth. The only thing really deadly about Earth is the Gerwolves that you can kind of run into. They have Zap and Thunder, but at this point, Gregory has 3 ribbons and a bunch of life casts, so shouldn't be too bad unless he gets a really horrible RNG fail and he loses all of them to that very low percentage chance.
Captain Nerd going back into Marsh. Probably gonna go check the key locks. We might see something interesting here. Probably. You see some wall and cured flies though. That's definitely a solid start.
Yeah, I didn't see what level his white wizards are at. The white wizard learns level 7 at level 20. Level 7 magic at level 20. So the crown turning for Astos turns into the rod. Now we have to fight the Dark Prince. For enchant by Malakuth known. We have not seen a nuke yet from anybody. That one random nuke spell that's in the that has been randomly shuffled from the bad men, we have not found it. In the early seed, yes, you did miss a lot of fun. The Gerwolves had Zap, they had Thunder. Hydras had Crack. And then Ordeals had Sorcerers with their vanilla the Death Touch, which gave our runners a lot of problems.
Gregory Puff not even checking chests anymore to go head straight down to the bottom floors, and I definitely approve of this decision. You definitely don't need that much more. Chat pointing out we haven't seen Stone Touch yet. It's actually a valid point.
I'm surprised McCary doesn't have it, because every time that I think, you know, every time I go to do a grind, just like the Gregory Puff did, he always manages to do it. And Gregory gets caught behind a bat, which must be a Captain Nerd fan, because he blocked him a little bit there.
Hey, what's this monster? I don't know. Did you see that?
Nah, I blinked. I'm sorry. Was there somebody there?
Oh, it was somebody that was undead and proclaiming that they were the ultimate fiend, and kind of got just holy. Speaking of holy, taking care of those unrunnables and just blasting them into oblivion too.
And I should also mention that the wizards actually hit very hard, along with the gargoyles. We did find an early opal bracelet in the Temple of Fiends, an early Excalibur that, if was sold, allowed you to get a lot of camping gear. The opal bracelet actually allowed you to bypass the wizards in the wizard incentivized chest location because of how hard they hit. Looks like Captain Nerd is trying to find out where he wants to go at this point. He's looking over his notes, he's kind of looking around, realizes he hasn't checked this location yet.
So anyways, for those just joining us in, welcome. This is a Week 3 matchup of the Swiss rounds of the Final Fantasy 1 Spring Randomizer Tournament. Sailing the high seas, we have the Sea of Clouds with the airship, and we have the Sea of Seas with our lovely ship there. My name is White Witch Lyra. I'm joined here by Dingwu. This has been an honor and a pleasure going through these particular adventures with you both. Tracker tonight, Danny, good job tonight. We are getting ready to go on our 4th orb, which means we're getting ready to go to Temple of Fiends soon. Hour 47. What an adventure this has been. I appreciate you all for joining us tonight. Hey, the punching bag. Oh, and the punching bag has sleep too.
Hey, remember that time in Twitch chat where I believe Lord Fizzlebeef said that you might need to put a ribbon on that black belt? I mean, I know it's only one turn, but I mean, at some point, you know, maybe he might put the ribbon on that black belt. I mean, as much as I'd like to see him down on his knees, not attacking, and doing the thing that he's supposed to be doing.
Also like to give a special shout out to Speed Gaming for hosting us tonight. Sam, as always, appreciated. Chat's really awesome too. Gregory Puff not even bothering to stop to go get items again. Just gonna go ahead and head straight into Temple of Fiends Revisited. We have ourselves the cracking of the orbit in hour 48, and let's see if we can find those crazy death Medusas again, but we know that death touches else.
You know, we haven't found that stone touch yet. It could be there. I'm just saying.
If it would be on the green Medusas, I would definitely call shenanigans on that one. We do find unrunnable gas dragons, though. A lot of good juicy XP here, but this is definitely a little bit of a roadblock for...
I think he's taking it. I think somebody in the chat said that he is 41. Maybe get the early levels, exit out real quick, save, and go. Oh no, okay. They're on.
Yeah, they're definitely unrunnable. That would be just me, like, either using little junk items or just taking the 4 rounds to just punch them like straight down, because you don't want to waste too many fade charges when you're below Fiend Force. It doesn't work out. Hey, look, a green punching bag. Oh wait, doesn't want it anyway. Skipping the validation chest, the last chest you would normally see in a run. There is one more chest in this dungeon that nobody sane ever goes for it. That is on the TMF floor right below me. And you have to follow a long stairway down, and nobody ever does that as well. Captain Nerd finding the steak and wings platter, chooses to take it, probably feels a little bit behind in levels. I don't approve of the Tyro bashing, but that's just me, and I'm only on the desk tonight. I'm not actually in the...
Now, for the people wondering for Captain Nerd, for progression, he needs to go to Ordeals, which leads to the slab, which takes us to Matoya, and that leads to Oxiel with that turn-in. The only other progression item he needs, which is the crown, unfortunately it is loose and it's on Kraken's side, so he needs that Oxiel to get to the loose item, which is crown.
Here we are to the earth floor. Mud golems, rock golems, runnable, nope.
So are we hoping for the Medusas? Oh, here we go. Is it some doesn't look like it. Only 6 hits. It's not the 11 hit, the death touch. They let us down.
I wouldn't say I'm let down, but we're definitely let up on a little bit of the de-stress that was last night. Here we go with punching bag number 2. Opens up with quad X. Gregory hits for 8 hits, 13, 19, blasts it straight back down to the depths from which it came, and we're onto the fire floor now.
Interesting choice. He moves the black belt, or the master, all the way down to the bottom. And he actually changes the ribbon over, but then as soon as Lich dies, he changes it out again.
Interesting call right there. Now, The slot 1 has about a 50% chance to be targeted. Slot 2 is about 25, and then the bottom 2 is a 12.5 each. You generally move your like tanky damage dealer to the bottom around Tiamat 2, so we'll see how long it takes.
Okay, now I think he's messing with us. Now, with the guy that actually attacks hard, he leaves his black belt out front with a ribbon equipped instead of moving him to the... But Carry only hits for 8 hits for 259 on his red wizard, and he returns the favor for 1,000 damage and carries down 2.
Definitely just wise to not even bother trying to mess around with that fight. 3 fades, 1 punch, done. I wouldn't even mess around with anything below carry. But here's the unrunnable seafood.
Now this is worth a lot of experience. The slow goes out, it hits his black belt, so the black belt is going to be kind of useless. He's going to have to rely upon his spells, although I say that, and he hits for 1 hit for 313 damage to kill the Gershark. Thundercat's over on the right-hand side. He's in trouble. Captain Nerd is in trouble.
Captain Nerd down to the White Wizards. Managed to get away, though, fortunately. Those levels are a little bit frightening, though. Only like level 17 around the board. You have the Seafood Party Pack on Grigglypuff's side. No interest in that. Thundercat strike again. Knocks the wizard down to 1 knee. That's a first floor that I would have just reset past, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of scared for Captain Nerd.
I would agree. And for the people that are wondering in chat, we have the Kraken 2 on the left. Lord Fizzlebeef is actually the quote-unquote mentor of Grigglypuff, which is why he's giving him a hard time. The wall comes out on the black belt. 9 hits, 715. Shows Kraken 2 how to one-hit people.
Now we're on to the air floor where that mysterious bottom chest is that only crazy people go down to. Grigglypuff getting set up. Moving the black belt down to the bottom, definitely a smart strategy right here. As we engage Tiamat 2.
Yep, he starts the wall. 5 hits, 138. Tiamat 2 has a good amount of, looks like, evade and some absorb. The wall goes out on the black belt, which works like a ribbon. We got a couple Invis 2s off. What's he gonna do? He's thinking about it. He's gonna heal armor, heal staff, and punch with again. 24 damage. Alright, we're slowly breaking through. Masa shows that it's superior to the black belt, does more damage. Tia responds for 4 hits, 227. That red wizard is looking a little low, but he's got a lot of heal, or a lot of life charges. We don't have the power bonk. 4 hits, 418 by the master. It's like more healing. The Masa swing, 3 hits, 210, kills Tia 2. Why even bring the master to 42? You just need a Masa on the red mid.
Red Wizard actually proving that Masamune is actually decent in the right hands, and that's on an actual mage and not an actual melee. Find some worms, but no interesting here. But there's a fog too off the table, that's definitely nice. As we approach the victory floor here, come on Gregley, you can take this one home for us. Captain Nerd, go ahead and keep running. We believe.
He's just checked the greater than, less than. Gets ambushed by Cerberus on the right-hand side. They didn't really show much. On the left, Wall is going to go out on his master for Gregley. Invis 2 off. Ice 2 is casted by Chaos. That's not going to do much. He has a lot of ribbons. First hit, 10 hits, 296. Okay, so he's got high absorb and apparently no evade. Nuke goes off. 310. Nuke is greater than the One Punch Man. Another punch. 9 hits, 140. At this point, you might be just casting at this point.
versus the White Mage, though. Biz 2 strat's definitely paying off here. Nuke comes out. We've got 200 damage on that one. That was pretty average. Next round of abilities. Lightning 2 coming off. That's nothing there. Fade goes off. We have 155. Nuke goes off. 262 or so. Another Fade. 90 damage. That's a small one. And 8 hits for about 52 damage. That definitely was no crits on that one.
Yeah, at this point, Griggly's got to hope there is no cure 4. He's running out of nukes. He's almost out of fades. 9 hits, 132. A stun goes off. He's above the threshold, doesn't get stunned. Heal 3. Keep his health up just in case nuclear goes off. Another heal 3. Keep the healths up. More healing items. He's going to swing with the Masa. 4 hits, 4 damage. 8 hits, 400. Terminates chaos. Finally, we get a good hit off of the Punching Master.
Official SRL time of 157.27. Get your GGs out, chat. That was definitely quite an adventure we have there. Come on, Captain Nerd. You can do it. Going through Sky Castle right now. We'll see if we can bring Gregory Puff in here to talk about the race a little bit.
That was kind of terrifying. It was good that the Master was able to finally get some crits off because he was running out of cast real quick. If that would have been a high HP Chaos with Cure 4, we might have been in an endless loop at that point. Maybe a pun intended there.
It is pretty late in the evening. I can see letting that one go just about. As we're waiting for Griggly Puff to respond to the IRC, just again, I wanted to thank you all for joining us tonight. This has been the adventure right here, and I'm glad you all joined us.
He's actually in our waiting area. We just gotta get him up here. On the right, Captain Nerd is still searching out Sky. There wasn't much in Sky that is going to allow him for progression. He has to go to Ordeals. He hasn't gone there yet, which has the Oxiel. Oxiel then leads into the Loose Crown, and that'll allow him to go into Temple of Fiends Revisited once he kills all the Fiends.
As we're joined by our winner tonight, Gregory Puff, congratulations. I am so happy you joined us for.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. GG.
Indeed. Tell us what happened. How did you get here? What was your thought process?
Well, so I've been running kind of the idea of if I see anything I really like in 2 or 4 that I was going to re-roll my party. And so obviously with Fade being on slot 4 at level 1, I decided to re-roll my party to include a couple of White Mages to have all those Fade charges, and then of course my Red Mage would eventually learn Fade at some point in time in the future, which I almost forgot to pick up. It took me a while to get there after class change. It did make getting through Marsh Cave and that ugly Ice Cave much easier.
Yeah.
Something on my mind is, did you enjoy all those Thundercats?
Those Catmen. Those Catmen. They were really irritating me for a little bit. I was like, alright, well, reset. Let's try again.
Now, what was interesting in the beginning is you reset out, or at the start, they re-rolled all your classes, and you went in, you go into Temple of Fiends, and Captain Nerd, he goes right up to Garland.
Yep.
And you, on the other hand, you made that trip left. How happy were you with what you found? Because Excalibur and Opal Bracelet was kind of amazing, and I mean, like, in my opinion, that's one spot I always look at. And you even saved. You made sure to buy a tent too. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I completely forgot what I found in there until you brought it up. Because, that was like 2 hours ago. But yes, finding that X-Cal and being able to sell it to get the adamant? Was that the,
Yes, it was.
Okay, so that was the vendor item right there. So knowing that I could do that real quick. And then, of course, getting that opal bracelet right away was really nice.
Sorry, one moment there, Gregory. On the right-hand side, unfortunately, Captain Nerd has run into Whiz Vamps, which you got away from. They had Blizzard and... what was that other spell? It hit really hard, so he almost wiped. He manages to run away with one white wizard with less than 100 HP. He's able to recover with all of the life spells that the white wizard's off. Yeah, but as you were kind of getting into with the adamant and the selling of the Excalibur, when you sold that Excalibur, it allowed you to purchase the adamant, which allowed you now 2 key items going to the left instead. But it also allowed you to get camping equipment and diving equipment to go into Marsh.
Yeah. Yeah, I did some interesting saving. Like I saved kind of near the Marsh Cave area to check the city, and of course the city is always Lefane. It's always Lefane. It's got there's no other city that could possibly exist right there but Lefane. And so I had to reset back so that I could go dive Marsh with my resources, and luckily Marsh wasn't too annoying. It's a little annoying.
Well, so the biggest thing, and so this is the thing that actually gave you the biggest lead of the game, because you found that Excalibur and you're able to sell it. But because you found that opal bracelet and you put it on your black belt at the start, those wizards and those gargoyles weren't hitting you nearly as hard. Your rival, when he went into Marsh, didn't sell the Excalibur. He didn't actually check those chests, so he didn't have the armor nor the camping equipment, and it cost him a lot of time.
Jeez, I can imagine. Yeah, I always try to check those chests, especially if you're gonna, the spells were pretty cheap. Getting those fades, I think were only like 25 each, and so yeah, I was able to buy at least one tent. Typically, I get kind of worried about checking those chests early, especially low level, and I haven't saved yet out front. But obviously, with the tent, I was able to do all that.
So we're coming up on the Bridge of Destiny here for Captain Nerd. Get your buffs RNGs up.
Oh my god, those sorcerers.
Oh, you got a war mech. Woo!
And the Bridge of Destiny proves once again that it isn't deadly. He's going to take this fight, nuke instantly. Turn 1 nuke from Worm. He takes a nuke right from Captain Nerd's party, wipes in 2 turns, lit 2, finishes off. Ouch.
Nerd deciding to go back in, though. Props for actually sticking through it, because that's something that I probably would have just stopped on this late in the race and after it's already been given a show here tonight.
Yeah, and as you kind of alluded to there, Gregory, we were wondering, we saw those sorcerers hurt you in Ordeals. They cost you at least a couple times. But you made sure that your black belt was high enough, and it broke the morale of the sorcerers, and you were able to run from the 6 encounters.
Yeah, I could not believe they were. I mean, I could believe because I knew I was at level 40 at the time that they would start running away. I just kind of forgot, and so I was nervous about Warmech, but I was more nervous about running into those sorcerers again because they obliterated my party in Ordeal several times.
Yeah, we were kind of worried about it, and it was good that you went up to 37, 38 on your grind, and actually that's the next thing. A lot of people were wondering, how high you were going to go. Why'd you choose 37?
That's all, man.
Okay. Hey, I like it.
It's just It's higher than 32, but I didn't have to go all the way to 42. I knew I still had some chest checking to do because I was still missing that loose item, and then it obviously dawned on me that the ribbon was loose once I caught that last ribbon in the sky. Well, I mean, I knew the ribbon was loose before then because there was only 2 loose items and I hadn't found either of them yet. The rod and of course the ribbon. So, but yeah, I mean, I knew I still had some chests to check, which is why I kind of stopped before 42, but I didn't want to stop at 32 in case Carrie decided to, be like super beefy.
I do have a question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how was this
How was the what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
for you in terms of difficulty?
The seed was fine. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say it was like, I don't know, let's go like a 4 or something. Like I said, re-rolling for the white mages obviously made things much easier in the early game. I wish I could have gone to ice a little later and done my grind on the eyes because they're typically squishier and they obviously give more experience points than the Agamas do. But that ice cave was pretty nasty with all those unrunnable wraiths, and I knew that if I had done that, I could have easily taken a wipe, against those wraiths, even with the light axe. By the way, those wizards, I was like literally 5 steps out of ice cave, and they killed my Fade caster. I was pretty bummed about that.
Yeah. The ice cave was actually pretty scary, and probably one of the low lights for the run for both of you.
And it was definitely 100% required. There's no way around it. Oh my god, meme strats, by the way. Ship to Ruby to Floater.
Now, so as I was pointing out to people in the chat, because, your mentor / teacher, Lord Fizzlebeef, did join in towards the end of your run where you had this high-level master, and he kept pointing out something that almost hurt you on the carry fight, or not carry fight, the Kraken fight, and Tia fight. You did not like to put the ribbon on your black belt, or your master, and he kind of slept for a while, and was on his knees for a while, didn't do anything for a couple turns. Was there a reason behind this?
I just forgot. I forgot. As you saw later on when I went through Topher, I was moving the ribbon over to him for the battles.
It was kind of funny though, because you went up against Lich and you respected him so much you moved your master away from the top slot, but then you left the master on the top slot against Carrie too.
Yeah. And then I eventually remembered I had those wall castings, so I went on ahead and obviously was using those instead of moving the ribbon around, just because when you put the ribbon on your black belt, his natural absorb and evade go away, so he's only got like a 1 absorb. And I'm pretty sure that if he got targeted, he could probably get one-shotted by those last few fiends. So I was banking on just hopefully the wall would go off before anything deadly would go off.
Certainly a strategy that paid off for you. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
So 1 and 2, what's next for you? What are you going to do to climb yourself back into the play area and potentially even all the way?
I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, and hopefully it all works out. I don't really, I've got a bunch of 1 and 2s. I'm sure that are gonna be pretty tough, and I'll just go out there and just try my best. That's all I can really do. We'll see what the forced and bans are. This particular seed was a black belt seed, though, considering that Fast and Temper were both black wizard learnable, I guess is what it would say. Like, you couldn't learn it with the red mage or the red wizard. You had to have a black belt because, as you probably saw in my battles against Tia 2 and Chaos 2, or Chaos 2, Chaos, they both had pretty high absorb. So I don't know how you would do it with. I'm sure you could do it with a power bonk and a low level knight with Massa, or maybe Vorpal or something like that.
Now on the right hand side, Captain Nerd is back up on the Bridge of Destiny. He has to watch out for the sorcerers. He has not gone to Ordeals. He does not know Ordeals has the sorcerer with Death Touch. If he gets a bad encounter, he could lose it really quickly. They have Death Touch, and they have already wiped McGregly, who is the winner, in chat with us. And we find another War Mech. He's gonna probably rot. Ink goes out. That's a free turn. Hopefully he'll get out of here. There he is. Okay, we're safe. He makes his way to Tia. He did not run into the sorcerers. He's able to run from the War Mech. He's in a good spot here.
Yeah, Ink looking a little bit better than Nuke for sure. Oh no, I had Lamp though, so I was prepared for any Inks or Darknesses that came out.
Lamp, the chosen spell. So, what was your mindset behind just going straight into Topher after you end the X-Men out of Sky? Were you just thinking, I gotta go on my own?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, I don't know, the seed was going by a little bit slower than I wanted it to, with the loose item being where it was. I always just assume I'm behind, just because I don't think I'm like, that quick with the menuing or that great in general. So I always am in my head like you are behind, especially since I do like to take the grind and waste, take 15 or 20 minutes to get that black belt where I want him to be before I do anything else. So yeah, it was very important for me to just move at that point.
Captain Nerd has been looking over his moves. He does have Brack available, which has a good chance of landing on the Timate. Instead, he casts Nuke for 182. He's got some Invis charges going up. The Masa on his black belt is not hitting for very much since he's only got a level 18 black belt. More nukes being casted. Yep, nope. He's trying the Quad Axe, seeing if Tia's got low health. Couple fade charges. There's the Masa swing. 3 hits, 117. Fade for 93. Another fade goes out. That's 149. Quad X might go through. No, it does not. Now the difference between his fight and Gregory's fight obviously is we don't have the high hitting black belt, but the hold did not work.
Yeah.
2 hits, 160 from Masa, fade 134. Sorry, Blaze comes out from Tia. Doesn't do a lot. He does have the 3 ribbons.
Tiamat 1 was both Blaze and Blizzard. The second sighting was
Fade for 130. Fires off of Fire 2. That top red mage, which has been the unfortunate victim, is very low, but he finally kills T. Alright, that's his second orb lit. He needs to go to Ordeals. He needs to remember Ordeals is his incentivized location if he wants to get progression to open up to go into go mode.
Gregory, I know it's kind of late for you, but feel free to stick around if you'd like to go ahead and start this weapons. We would be more than happy to have you.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. Yeah, I'll hang out and throw a little insight, I suppose.
Like the sound of that.
Yeah, this should be fun. Looks like he's I think you guys are seeing the live stream. I'm watching it on Twitch right now, so I think I'm a few seconds behind you guys.
Probably about 10 seconds or so.
No, he's going to Onrak. Now, as much as I know of, he has not gotten the Oxyel from the quest chain from Ordeal, so he can't go into Sea Shrine.
Hey, Zap and Sleep too. Pretty terrible. Soft and Cure, even worse.
Hey, at least that soft is Red Wizard learnable. you know, in case you didn't buy any softs in the game, you can spend 11 grand on the spell that you'll get one casting of.
So here's the thing, captainnerd didn't save, as far as I know, after coming out of Sky. I'm just wondering if you would save right before you landed to go to Lepane's That's something I probably would have reset back to after seeing those spells. I think it was just a spell check.
I don't even think I've seen him save yet.
That's what kind of scares me. This is what kind of buried captainnerd in round 2, as well as not getting enough saves.
Yeah, and it hurt him this race too. You know, he didn't save after he actually died from the Gerwolves with the zap and the thunder. And unfortunately, because of that, he lost a lot of, he kind of lost track of where he was at, and he had to research a lot of chests. He went back to Cardi Isles. That cost time. He's now done a complete circle around the northern continent of the globe. I think he's looking for an idea where he's going. Yeah, I think he's going to go to Earth. I think he's going to try and search for Earth and hope that the loose is there. I think he's forgotten that Ordeals is incentivized.
Yeah, this is gonna be unfortunate, but at the same time we can get some OCD checks and we'll see if we can find Vorpal while we're...
Vorpal hype? The game changer that only the red wizard can use. Oh, that's right, Gregley. Unfortunately for you, there was times where the Masa outdamaged your poor little the master. I mean, a level 42 master was getting outdamaged by a Masa red wizard.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Those were some pretty high absorb, high evade bosses there near the end. Without fast and temper, and I never found bonk. Power bonk. I don't know what else. I just had to keep punching and hope for the best. And I get.
Nerd seems to be doing now as well as hoping for power box.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not planning on taking some time to take that black belt up to level 42, he's gonna need bonk or something along those lines. Or yeah, I mean, just bonk in general. There's nothing else you could get to raise his offensive output.
Indeed, because that Tiamat and Chaos 2 were both pretty painful.
Yeah, they were tanky. Luckily, they didn't really do anything. I mean, nothing that I saw anyway. I mean, who knows? There's probably like a nuke or a nuclear in there that I just didn't happen to see.
12,000 might be, well, not very helpful at this point, because you're basically swimming in money by then. Chooses not to save or reset back, and just goes ahead and heads.
So there's not much else. There's not much else for him to check at this point. I believe he's gone in every location except for. No, he's been everywhere. So once this is done, hopefully he realizes that he has to go to Ordeals.
I'm hoping so too. We definitely want to see progression from
And I know you had mentioned this, Gregory, but on your side, for the whole race, at any point did you feel you were ahead, behind? I think you had mentioned that you felt behind because of the way or how long it took to kind of move along, but
I mean, like I said before, it's kind of hard to say how you feel about a certain race, because the people you're up against are seeing the same thing you're seeing, right? So, you know, when I get to when I see the Gerwolves with the zap and the thunder and all that stuff, I'm like, well, he's going to see that too. And there's just no way you can avoid that. You're going to hit him, and then it's going to happen unless you're just lucky. Same thing with, like, you know, unrunnable packs and ice. We all saw it. So I felt pretty good after Marsh. Like, I felt like my dive in Marsh went really well. I was able to get in and out pretty quickly. The only thing that really started making me a little worried was once I had full cleared sky, and I was just running out of places at that point that loose item could be. And I didn't full clear Marsh. I didn't check North Marsh, and I didn't check, like, you know, Locked Marsh or the two chests right of the crown chest. So of course in my brain I'm thinking, oh man, that loose item was probably there the whole time, and now I'm like way behind.
Yeah, we were wondering about that. You didn't. I mean, it was a good gamble because there's really nothing over in that top side of Marsh that it didn't hurt you or anything like that. It was kind of surprising, you know. You went in, you had warp charges, you had casts, but you know, you just said, you know what? I'm going into Marsh. I'm grabbing the incentivized location. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I only had one casting of warp there, so I basically warped back to level, you know, the second level, and then had to do the sorry walk out of that place. I think I was like almost completely out of fade charges by the time I left. So it was pretty dicey there.
That was actually something that I'm thinking about fade charges. We found all three of the tier 2 casting items. We also found a light axe at Ice Cave, which probably would have saved your bacon a little bit more to walk out. I'm surprised you didn't.
Yeah, you know, I had like literally just one track mind. All I could think of was fade. And I did almost think about grinding eyes because I found that light axe, and I was like, you know what, I haven't gotten the 12 key items yet. It's going to take longer, and those wraiths are unrunnable and hit pretty hard, even with an opal bracelet. And I was pretty low level and wasn't doing much damage to the eye to begin with, so I decided to get out of there. And then, of course, took that wipe on those stupid wizards.
To be fair, though, you know, they were pretty dangerous, and you had 7 of them, and I think, did they ambush you? Because I really felt like they...
I don't remember. I want to say that I don't think they ambushed me, but it was like I got really bad turn order, and they were like just wailing on my people, and killed my white mage off before she could do fade. Oh, hey, there's the white shirt. And yeah, and then killed off my red wizard before he could do any sort of ice 2 Hail Marys, and then I just reset out because why sit there and watch your party take a wipe? There's nothing I could really do at that point.
Yeah, you were down to 1. I believe it was the one with the opal armor because you had swapped it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it might have been able to, but at the same time, you know, it wastes time.
Yeah.
You already know where everything is. Just go.
Yep.
So Captain Nerd has 2 more chests, I'm sorry, to look at. He has the one that is blocked by an Earth Elemental, and he's got another one that is from, that's blocked by the Vampire. He doesn't have the Rod. Power Staff is not going to help him for progression. He's going to dispose of the Sun Sword again. He's checked almost all chests so far. He needs to go to Ordeals, which gives you the slab. The slab then leads you to the crystal and with Matoya, and Matoya then gives you the Oxia. And once he does that, he'll go to Sea Shrine, and on the way to Kraken is the loose crown that will give you the rod, which allows you then to take on Lit.
Huh. Dragon armor. Didn't even check that chest. Not that I would have had any use for it. I'm surprised to see that that Captain Nerd and I ran the exact same party. Did he start with this party, or did he also reset and re-roll? Obviously, he didn't re-roll because he's got names.
He began with this party, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. And then you basically, I wouldn't say copied him, but yeah, you copied him.
Huh. Yeah, like I said, my original plan was to have the black belt, 2 red mages, and the thief, and my thief was going to make sure that I could run away from things, because let's be honest with this party. This party was not running from anything. This party was just standing there while it was getting beat up on, and then not doing anything, just saying can't run, even in high levels. So I thought that maybe bringing a thief along, plus the black magic in 1 through 4 was good. You got a temper or fast or something like that. That would make the thief useful besides running around. Plus katana's always a good weapon to have. It crits just as well as the warhole, but then, like I said, I saw that fade in slot 4 and was like, nope, reset out, re-rolling, bringing 2 white mages along. I'm gonna have fade for days.
I think it was a good call. That was definitely the way to go. And then on top of that, Captain Nerd on your right had just ran into Ankylos. They had poison damage, which actually wiped him once. Or no, excuse me, it almost wiped Captain Nerd. So on top of them already having very high attack, they also had poison damage. So now he's about to feel the pain of Ordeals. This gives you, once again, this gives him the progression, which allows him to go into Sea Shrine, and that leads him into Lich. Or Earth Cave, I should say. So the sorcerers are the ones to look out for sure. They have Death Touch. They only have 1 hit of him, but his levels are low enough where he could cause problems.
It was pretty gnarly running into them, because they were like almost every encounter, like after the first encounter off the hard reset. I felt like I saw them like way more times than I ever wanted to see sorcerers, and they gave me nightmares of the old vanilla game, because that's a vanilla ability, their Death Touch.
Here's something we didn't see the last time. I thought that was going to be something interesting in that chest.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know, that chest is actually linked to the room upstairs. So you can actually bypass that chest, and one of those chests that are upstairs where the incentivized location is where it's linked to. So you don't actually have to go into that trap tile.
Yeah, it's the bottom left, those 4 chests that are in the bottom left-hand corner of that room. It's the far left one, I think, is linked to that room.
Sometimes you want to check that particular tile just to see if it's anything that you can potentially punch or light axe or something to death and get some XP that way, but it's generally one of the tiles you
Yep, especially if the flags have the shuffled the trap tiles. Alright, he's about to make his way over to the incentivized slab. There's that chest that was linked. There's the slab. A kind of a beefy zombie dragon, I think. He only took 1 fight and left.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in that. After he slapped my person around for like 66 damage, and I think it took like all of my people attacking it to kill it.
That sounds about right. Captain Nerd is rocking out very low camping gear, or at least adventuring gear. His healing potions are down to 13, so if he's going to go into Sea Shrine, he has to make sure to refill his healing potions.
Would have actually been a good call to take that exit just to save a little bit of time.
He needs to save.
Captain Nerd.
There are catmen. There,
Oh god.
and I called it, but he does have 3 ribbons, so that it's a bit different compared to when he originally. There goes a red wizard that has been dying constantly in his run.
Oh, there we go. Save, please. Doesn't.
Hydras have crack. All right, he gets away from it.
Only 2 that time.
Yeah, I didn't even see the crack from the Hydras because I refused to fight one after they one-shotted one of my characters the first time I saw them. And they had well over like 300 hit points.
Yeah, they did not like Captain Nerd very much.
Oh, the Hydras?
Yeah, they wiped him a couple times. Not only did they hit hard, but yeah, as you said, or as we mentioned, crap kills, kids.
I'm actually surprised you chose to do the Agama grind when they had about 500 something HP. Those were really...
Yeah, it's not ideal. It was not ideal. It's not the grind I wanted to do, but I was also not going back into Ice Cave to grind on eyes. Like that just was not happening. I had to kind of stick with progression at that point. I knew I had to do fire because you always have to do fire. So I just...
Oh, you're good. Sorry, Captain Nerd needs to go to Elflin. That is Lefane. He's going to Onrak, which is Provoca. That's not going to be where he wants to go.
Yeah, you're definitely right about not having to go into dungeons twice a week.
Yeah, I mean, if the Agamas were like really nasty, like doing just insane stuff, even like I had a ribbon and the opal bracelet, so it wouldn't have been like terrible. But I've seen Agamas that's pretty nasty in the past. I've actually in race number 1, basically took a wipe to the Agamas because they were too beefy and I had no business grinding them at the time, and then ran out of heal potions and tried to walk my sorry black belt out of there and took a wipe. So again, not really ideal, not my favorite grind. I mean, it is a safer grind because the 2 tiles are right next to each other, so you don't have to step off and worry about step off encounters.
Captain Nerd picks up his crystal. That's gonna lead to the Oxial from a toy. There's my favorite spell in the game, Quake. Level 8. Little unfortunate because nobody in this game can learn that level 8 Quake spell, but I love it.
Big fan, right?
A big
Everybody
fan.
likes cake.
Yeah. Ever since Lord Fizzlebeef took out Carry 1 with that Hail Mary Quake, it's just big fan of it.
That's right. I have to admit that Lord Fizzlebeef has inspired me to bring people into the Quake.
I just like trying to use Quake on like random enemies that you have no business hitting. Like somehow I kill Carry 2 more often than I should ever have to kill Carry 2 with Quake strats.
Alright, so Captain Nerd needs to go to the old Lefane to get to Onrak. A couple things to look out. He has not saved in a little while, and he also has very little healing potions. Okay, here comes the save. Oh, but no, save.
Probably want to use some of those heal charges before popping the mouse to actually get the better heal.
Use the heal 3. Use the heal 3. Still hasn't saved. He did heal, but he has not saved. He can run into Ankylos. They have poison. They hit hard.
Runs into a friend instead. This is actually to keep the friendship.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I unfortunately had to take one of the friends down. But then I reset out of it. So did I really take the friend down? Because I did the reset?
Time-lived it. No, you didn't eventually take it down.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. I took the trip down. I saw Anrak. I was like, I don't really like you, Anrak. And went back to my airship. I've been trying to use a lot more of the reset back, like walk long distances, check a city out, decide I don't like that area or what I'm seeing, and then obviously reset back to my previous spot to save a little bit of time. It does help out.
Now, for just to kind of keep track of everything for everybody, he is buying his heal potions. He has not saved still yet. That since the beginning of the fetch quest, I have not seen him save yet. If he goes into Sea Shrine without saving, okay, he is going to the inn. All right, we are good on this.
Get your Ric Flairs in chat, because we finally saved.
Woo!
Alright, now he needs to go crack inside. If he goes crack inside, he finds the loose crown, which leads to the rod. If he goes mermaids, I'm assuming he'll find the power bonk and the vorpal at this point, since all other chests have been located already.
Yeah, I always learned from talking or hearing the other commentators talk about it. I think like Shadowwalker, Edgeworth, they'll talk about like which way do you go in this particular situation when you're looking for loose items, and they say that if you're still looking for both loose items, which at this point we're obviously not, then mermaids is probably a good easy check to go. But if you're only looking for the one loose item, it's always just quicker to just go on ahead and head towards Kraken, check all the chests. Worst case scenario, kill Kraken, right? And then you go back in and check mermaids. Luckily for me, that strategy kind of worked out in my favor, because obviously we found out that the crown was on Kraken's side, not on Mermaid's side. But we will get to see what's in Mermaids, which is pretty cool.
Now, for the people wondering, a little tip of advice when you're worried about encounters and stuff. The one tile in front of a door is free. The inside the door is free, and all along the walls on the side of the door is free. You will never get in any encounters along those tiles.
Yeah, it's definitely a good strategy, especially when you're inside of the rooms and stuff, to go on ahead and do as they say, the hugging the wall. So basically walking in and staying on the southern side of every room. That way you can avoid encounters, like you said. Ooh, second pro cape.
Pro cape, very good for casters. It goes in the shield slot for casters. I believe it gives you 7 absorb, which is very good for casters, since that's all they get. I believe the red wizard the red mage can get the buckler, but that's not a whole lot.
And the white shirt is actually a white mage, white wizard armor that Captain Nerd didn't equip there. It's the best. I wouldn't say the best, but it's one of the best that the white mage can equip. It has the same absorb as a gold bracelet. It's 22 or 21 absorb.
And it also gives him protection from time and I can't remember what the other one is. Lear, do you know that off the top of your head? Time and what's the other resistance? The white cloth or the white shirt?
That's one of those super obscure ones, so it'd be like time and earth.
Yeah, maybe somebody in chat can help us out with that information. Man, Mermaid's a total bust. Like nothing.
It's a little bit of a heartbreak right here.
I'm sorry. Apparently, wait. Alright, so he's still looking. He's not going crack inside, which is where the loose crown is. He's running into the unrunnable Wiz Sayhogs and Red Sayhogs. This is the one of the formation that is always unrunnable, no matter what.
It has something to do with the way the game's programmed, right? Because isn't it like a B-side to like a different formation that's also always unrunnable? Isn't it the Pirates or something like that?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
So, fun fact, we found the chest earlier with 5 pennies in it. This one had 4 pennies in it. We're getting even cheaper with our...
How low can we go?
My favorite chest to find is the one that says 0 gold.
Oh,
Like,
that one's good.
Like, why does this chest even exist? Oh, white shirt offers death and fire resistance. Thank you, Zardia, for that.
Oh, hail the mighty leader of the purple one.
So
okay.
I think it's the black shirt then that must have the resistance to time and earth maybe.
I think it's ice and time. Then.
Ice and time.
Or wait, does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Big cast.
Outside, therefore it would be resistant poison, you would think.
Alright. Captain Nerd clears out the mermaid side. No loose items. So he exits out, he saves it, and he's gonna go back in. Now he's going on the proper side. This is gonna give the last item that he needs. There is a chest that he missed. It's down. Yep, he's gonna look at it. It's not where it's at, but it's something if you want to remember. If you're checking chests and stuff, there is one in there. Now he's gonna go to the next room. There are no chests in this one.
Now, something that newer runners can definitely do is have like a side-by-side of maps and stuff like that, so make sure you're checking all the chests. And most of the old school maps don't actually tell you which ones are empty. That comes with basically like a memorization of them.
Which can throw you off. It's really funny the way the old like Nintendo Powers used to do it.
Well, yeah, and then all the chests that of course are linked to. That's just confusing. Like, what's the why? Like, especially in Marsh, like several chests are linked to one another that don't make any sense. Oh, there he is.
Yep, there's the loose crown. Now he knows that he's in go mode, or he should know that he's in go mode. He can now go right to Kraken and kill him. In this case, Griggly did not check any of the other chests, so we don't know what they are. He doesn't really need them, but the power bonk might be helpful. He doesn't have the high level black belt like Griggly did.
Something you actually just referenced there a second ago that I actually said earlier. You probably want power bonk if you're not going to go ahead and just grind your block.
Even with the grinded black belt, power bonk would have been. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a lifesaver because obviously I never took a wipe in Topher, but it would have made those last two bosses much easier for sure to have bonk and to be able to buff up that black belt while I'm using my invis 2s. Plus that white shirt is always like a good find. So I never know.
Yeah, and it's interesting though, because when you're fighting Chaos, we hadn't seen the Cure 4 and you weren't doing much damage. Your spell casts were out. You only had like 2 nukes left. And with the amount of damage that your black belt and your Masu user was using, I was like, if we see Cure 4, I don't think he's gonna be able to kill it. It's gonna be an endless loop.
Yeah, I would have definitely had to reset out at that point. You know, like if Cure 4 would have been on either Tiamat 2 or Chaos, I mean, I'm not sure. I would have had to have either ground to 50 or tried to find the bonk and try to get through it that way.
So the red wizard goes down. If
Poor Jack.
we had a counter for Jack, unfortunately,
He's the new Gene.
yep, he's the new Gene. If you ever watched SVJ, St. Von Jester, he keeps a track of one of his characters that dies. Jack is the new Gene, apparently, at least on Captain Nerd's side. The guy is, unfortunately died many, many, many times.
Shout out to another member of Team Vorpal.
He is also part of this team Vorpal. Oh, there's the power bonk. Okay. That is going to be very...
Sharknado for
Yep, Sharknado floor. It's going to be very helpful for him because he didn't have the powered black belt that Gregory has.
I was gonna say power bonk in this room? What is this? Is this game even randomized?
I mean, if I were him, I'd hope for the Vorpal, use the power bonk on the red wizard and just go from there. Because, I mean, who needs a black belt at this point?
It would have to be randomized for the simple fact we've seen Thunder 3 different times when we normally don't see it that many.
This Gershark giving some trouble to Captain Nerd. Didn't want to go down. Did some damage. He's going to have to heal now. He's got over 100 heal potions. So he's doing a lot better than what he was doing earlier. That's good. Oh, and so as a kind of a funny thing is if you notice, Captain Nerd had an unfortunate accident where all of his people kept getting poisoned, and once he got out of Marsh Cave, he had to make a 2-man journey from Marsh all the way to Corneria with both of them poisoned with no healing items.
That's what we call the pain train right there, because he only had like 4 or something on the way out.
And I'm assuming you had his audio the whole time, the sound of the sound of death playing through the speakers.
No, it was on you.
So once he got to Corneria, you see him purchase about 32 pures.
Understandably so.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than you're like out there and you forget to get pures, or you don't have pures right off the bat, and you get like hit with like stinger from something, and like all your characters are poisoned.
That's exactly what happened. Just before he was exiting Marsh, just as he was leaving Marsh, he got all of them poisoned, and then 2 of them died, and he had to make that long hero run journey back to Corneria.
I'd run up a lobster and just want to hug you and potentially just grab you with their tails. Hug.
Hug. Just so many hugs. You know, between 2, 3 hugs, just all the hugs by those lobsters.
And boop, there goes Jack again. Jack, you might want to just retire from being on Captain Nerd's side here. I think he doesn't like you anymore.
Yeah, he's like the...
The Tsar says, would Jack be nimble? Jack was not nimble enough.
More like Jack fell over the
Jeez. Poor Jack, he's like the Kenny of this party.
Sadly, we only have the 4-letter names for Our particular.
And there he goes again. Poor Jack. Jack, are you going to contribute to this team at all? Because you laying on the ground is not very helpful at this point.
At this point, I think the master should just carry him around.
Well, you can basically drag Jack around with the dragon sword just attached to the waistline and hoist him up by the belt. Oh, there's a white wizard that goes down.
Oh, Jade. Jade won.
Alright, we're running into a... He's got a decent amount of life still. He's got the regular life. He's out of life 2 now.
That's not one of them, though, right? Oh.
He's using up his nuke for Cure 3.
And when he's got that heal 3 right there, just hanging out. You know?
So we didn't see a whole lot from Kraken when Gregory went through. You didn't cast any Brack. I don't think you did. I think you just casted some nuke and punched him, really. I think she died in about 2 hits.
Yeah.
No, I remember seeing at least one broadcast. Just didn't get.
11 hits, 431. Jade 1 is down. I repeat, Jade 1 is down. Jack, you didn't do your job. Okay, you had one job, and that was to take the hit, and you let Jade die instead. He's gonna power bonk his black belt or his master again. Nuke comes out 236. Kraken takes out the other white wizard. Okay, at this point, you're feeling the heat here. This 2 going to be casted by the red wizard. Finally hits with the Masa. 12 hits, 189. Jack was nimble this time. Was able to dodge all 8 attacks of Kraken. I lied.
Not that
okay,
one.
well he's down now. 3 hits, 273 by Masa. 3 hits, 251. Kraken is down finally.
That was close.
Yeah, it was. Good thing Kraken rolled low on hit points there.
I think this was all part of his plan. He wanted to kill everybody else and remind everybody that Master is, well, Master.
Probably the master of death at this point.
He's not going to be invited to the work party.
Alright, we gotta save in that one, didn't we?
Yes. He saved after he revived.
Thank goodness.
At least I think. It
Yeah,
was
okay.
Okay. And that was clutch. Masa on a black belt kills off your team, but you managed to kill Fiend, so that's good. Alright, so he's got the crown. He's got to go to defeat Astos. Then he's that gives him the rod.
Astos grumpy for getting woken up. That's right, was comfortable. And
Alright, he has the rod. Now he's in go mode. He can now make his journey to Earth Cave now. Not a whole lot to worry about there. Gerwolves are located in there if he gets unlucky. They do have Zap. The Gargoyles in Marsh at the beginning hit for almost the triple digits. Just as badly as the Wizards. Doesn't have to worry about them as nearly as badly right now.
pink snakies wanted none of that.
They have heard of the Jack and ran away.
Who dies first, the snakes or Jack?
Apparently it was a tie, because he just ran away.
battle to see who can run away faster.
Alright, he's already cleared. Oh, images, I can't remember what they had. I remember they had something that was pretty deadly.
They had cremate, I think.
Yep, there it is. So it's not nearly as bad. He's got 3 ribbons, so he's going to be able to get through this, but poor Jack does not have a ribbon, so, well, he might die.
Expend the Jack.
And as I pointed out earlier, I was running a seed previous to before this race, and when I had seen the Gur ogres in my seed, they had nuke. In this one, luckily, they do not have nuke. Jack is the MVP of this. I don't care what anybody says. This man is laid on the ground more for his team than anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with.
The stone and just smashes it up.
What were you pretty impressed about there?
I was
Wrigley?
I was impressed with Jack's ability to keep the ground nice and warm.
He's a team player, you know. Alright, at this point, Captain Nerd should be in go mode. He's going to check some more chests.
What could you be looking for possibly?
He might be looking for the Vorpal at this point. And in chat, somebody says he literally lays it all on the line every day. He is.
His body does make a line on the floor, you're right.
Images come out. We have a high chance of Jack dying again. Oh, no, Harm 4 comes off. Jack is safe. We can all have a shot now, knowing that Jack is safe.
Oh my
Jack has
gosh.
come to no harm.
A Jack, or a shot of apple juice.
Oh my lord. Just imagine the drinking game that is every time Jack hits the floor.
It's better than map checks because you actually get more out of it.
Map strats for the win, right, Dang?
Dang strats.
Oh, Dang strats. What aren't you about the map strats? Just like out there, you're like...
Occasionally. Alright, Captain Nerd apparently is afraid of the last 2 chests in this room.
Oh, there's just a monster tower right there.
Yeah, those trap tiles are kind of hard to remember exactly where they are in this particular room. Because there's like one between those 2 chests, there's one like to the left of the bottom chest, and then there's one right under the left chest, the one he just stood on with the wizard ogres and hyenas. There's like 3 different trap tiles.
I would say it's more of the falls into the memorization category, so you just get better with everything. Or if you just literally print off the maps and then cross them out on paper or something like that and just study them.
Got some more images, more chances for Jack to die. Harm 4. Oh, okay, there's a cremate. He's down to 91 health on Jack. Oh, now he's going to attack. Okay, images really hate Jack.
Jack lives, he's just like Bond.
Round 2. There's only 2 of them though this time. And there goes Jack.
But Jack doesn't.
Oh, there we go. Go on ahead and pour one out for Jack.
I think he's gonna need more than one at this point.
I mean, the good news is though, he does have life 2. Life 2 is the best heal spell in the game. Instantly heals him. Bam. Jack's back up, live and kicking, ready to
Dump the barrel out of
ready to lay on the jump on that live grenade for his team again.
that. It's the old razzle dazzle, but Jack is unfazed by it. Jack is all.
Some say he's a little too serious about his job and doesn't get distracted.
Well, you have to be alert when you're at the top slot of the party. That way you can just go ahead and waiting for all ambushes and prepare to jump in front of you.
Alright, here we go. Let's see the old man.
This is the ultimate Fiend chaos Lich. I'm sorry. He's undead, and he's weak to Quake, which is my #1 spell.
Unfortunately, it was level 8, completely unlearnable. So no Quake strats today.
Then you pull up the Zap strats. Then
Yes, Zap does actually work on Lich as well. I think I'd do the Harm 4 strats. Just move it on.
he did go with Harm 4. Harm 4, kind of similar to Fade, but I prefer the Fade over the Harm 4.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Harm 4 does the same amount of damage as Fade. It just actually only attacks undead as opposed to Fade. You know, can actually hit on everything.
Yeah, I believe that is right around the same amount.
Alright, looks like he's gonna dip into Topher here at the 3-hour mark.
He's gonna try to one-up the Gregley. The Gregley went in with only 80 heal potions. He's going in with 75.
That's a bold strategy.
Now he's going to be forced to use some of his Fade charges because of the unrunnables, which he's going to need later on. He does have Power Bonk though, so that's going to help him out.
You can do it, Captain Nerd. I just hope you saved before you went in.
He did. I think he did actually save before he went in. Unrunnable gas dragons, annoying, as always.
That was the same thing you ran into, and they were kind of beefy if I remember. They did not go down easily, so he's going to have to use up more spell charges for this. He's still swinging the Masa on the black belt. I should say master, because he did promote him.
Black belt evolved into master.
And yet for some reason has a lower magic defense growth.
That's the one thing that never made sense about the original game.
There's a ton of things about the original game that don't really make much sense.
Another unrunnable gas dragon's going to eat up more spell charges. He's going to need them. Those are Invis 2 charges also. Well, that's like, we never realized that the key is actually required for Temple of Fiends Revisited. And nobody knew that until the randomizer was actually made, where things were shuffled around.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't know that otherwise because you obviously have to have the key to get to the TNT to progress the game. But it's kind of weird that the programmers it's not this room that we're currently in, it's the room right after the loot. You go into here, you can't get out of that room that he just left without the key. Because trust me,
Yep, and as Lyra has pointed out, this run has been validated. He checked those 2 little chests there, didn't get really anything good about it.
Something I'm not exactly approving of, using the life 1 charges before the heal 3. Just to cast Cure 3.
Welcome, Brax. Welcome to the ending of this. Captain Nerd is going to make his run in Temple of Fiends Revisited. We got some cheerleaders here, spectators cheering on Captain Nerd here to finish this out strong. More unrunnables. This is Temple of Fiends Revisited has a lot of unrunnables so far. 3 encounters so far.
Yeah, if he's on the hard reset, I remember hitting this. I hit the gas dragons, and then there was 2 packs of these that I also hit that were both unrunnable. But I think after this, there's a pretty good run of just no monsters in general until you get to Earth Floor.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest. We were hoping the Medusas were going to have something for you, but they decided that they were going to play nice.
Yeah, I don't think.
Never again.
I don't think they were gonna have Death Touch again. Death Touch was already on sorcerers that already ruined Ordeals for me. I didn't need to get ambushed by Medusas with Death Touch.
I mean, there's other touch attacks, you know, that would have been a little more entertaining. But they only rolled 6 hits instead of the 11 that if anybody doesn't know, I believe it was on Speed Gaming 2, was Wilkliosis versus Tristal match. And for anybody who doesn't know, it came down to mapping out the encounters and getting through the Medusas, which rolled 11 hits and the Death Touch. Oh, and they had a high chance of ambushing. So for every hit, which was 11 hits on every attack for each one of them, they had a chance to instantly kill your light warriors. And that was one of the great equalizers of this match, was who could get through the Medusas first.
I was actually there to track that match, and at the end of the match, there was nothing more to track, so I just started counting white totals, and the final score was like Crystal, somewhere between 10 and 12, and then Will died 3 times. Something we didn't see actually in this run from either runner is what happened to Stone?
Yeah, we haven't seen that one. I was kind of hoping from the Medusas on there.
Well, like a Stone Touch?
Yep, a Stone Touch.
Sleep touch.
Now, another thing you'll also see from that other match, for anybody, I'd highly recommend watching it. You'll be able to see 2 great runners going at it. You get to see a very interesting and exciting ending to it, too. Once they got through the Medusas, you got to see a great way, or a great ending, I should say.
The story did finish as a happy end, by the way. And that's what we're hoping for here as well, as Captain Nerd is making the way down the line.
I'm just really worried about this Tier 2 Chaos battles.
Especially on levels that Captain Nerd has. Yeah, that is a little worrying.
Medusa's kind of hitting, but they don't do a lot. They have no damage to them. They were hitting for 5-6 hits with about 6 points of damage. Lich died really quickly, actually survived a bit longer compared to Carry 2. 4 hits, 220. Harm 4 comes out, 306. Lich 2 is down.
Nice.
I definitely approve of the Harm 4. That was literally the only thing in that spell slot that was really worthwhile. Just use those and just completely get rid of them because there's not much need for them.
Yeah, that was very smart in that case, because you're going to need those spell charges later on. Temple of Fiends Revisited is very long. Looks like he's going to take the Agama fight here.
There's the old massive dazzle from my wonderful Blizzard friends, and then there's the AoE sleep, which poor Jack just kind of did the nap at this point, but it's really cool.
Yeah, Jack, I think he obviously was tired from being in the upright position for such a long time.
A lit attack. You better watch out for that level 1 lit. Jack is finally up. We can finally be serious about killing this Agma. There we go.
Yeah, complete shout out to Captain Nerd for sticking through this 3 hours later. Our wonderful winner tonight has already finished over.
Yeah, one thing I will say is I always pretty proud of the players that will finish it out, just go through it. They, no forfeiting, none of that stuff.
Carry 2. He hit decently hard. It wasn't too bad. You know what? Actually, I don't think we actually seen it because he got one shot by Gregley's One Punch Man, his master. Fire 2 comes out. Jack doesn't have a ribbon, so he's going to take a good amount of damage. Masa swing, 4 hits, 241. Ice 2's not going to do a lot. Little chip damage. Queues up another Ice 2, attacks with the Black Mage. Heal 3 on one of his White Wizards. White Shirt comes out again, trying to protect against the attacks. Carry 2, oh, there's a fast. This could cause some damage. Next round, he could swing and hit very hard. Masa, 4 hits, 256. He's getting low on health. He might be quad-Xable.
Carry the Mistress of Pain. Tosses out a rub for no effect. 3 hits, 51. 4 hits, about 1.
That White Shirt puts him at about halfway to max evade. Does a little swing with the little White Wizard. 4 hits, 218 from Masa. 1 hit from the White Wizard. Missed. Yep. Those White Shirts are paying off. That carry has a fast. It doubles his amount of hits. 3 hits, 50. Red Wizard, 4 hits, 244. Kills carry 2. He moves on to the sea floor. Now, he has to be careful of lobsters. He didn't heal, so Jack's probably going to die if he runs into lobsters. He's not using the bottom half of where the doors are along the walls, on the south side of where the doors are, to save himself on encounters. He might have made it into that next room, maybe into the room after that, had he done that. Now, the Gur Sharks and Big Eyes are worth a lot of experience.
Oh, but the eyes have mute on.
And the most annoying thing about the mute thing is, even if you use a magic item like Black Shirt, which casts Ice 2, or Thor's, or Zeus, they can't actually cast. Ooh, Lit 3 comes out. Jack is dirt napping again.
Eyes are loaded tonight.
But yeah,
That means that Jack rolled Snake Eyes.
and the Punzer. I love it. You're my hero, Leo. You're my hero.
Here we go. As we get Captain Nerd healing back up from that.
But yeah, if your people get silenced, they actually cannot use those magic items, and it's really awful. So not only can they not cast anything, but they can't use any of those magic items either.
I was actually getting a little scared of that menuing there because the hover over the exit was real, and I'm like, wait, this isn't the old tournament where we can get plus 50 fantasy points for that thing.
The exit boss is real. Now Kraken
There you
2,
go.
yeah, Kraken 2 hits hard.
See the power
It
level.
looks like he's bonking up.
Ice 2 from Kraken, that's not going to do much except for the poor old Jack. White Shirt, Invis 2 comes out, okay. He's got a decent amount. Power Bonk comes out, another Invis 2, so he's halfway to max evade. Nuke is coming. Yep, go ahead.
Nuke, another power bomb. What we got here? Not sure what that white was. Heal 3, yeah.
I like that play with the White Shirt.
Nuke for 143, not very high up. With Kraken 2, it's generally a good idea you'll know because he'll go, "Youch, seafood." 3 hits, 282. Kraken fires back for about 77. Fade for about 130. That's another low one. Fade 88, but it takes Kraken 2.
Yeah, Kraken was definitely a glass cannon. Basically no HP, hits hard, you know, the usual. But if Kraken rolls high HP, then that really becomes a problem because she might get, you know, 2 attacks off or 3 attacks off, and then that really becomes a problem.
Taking the worm fight. I don't know about this one.
He can't decide what he wants to do. We know that they have Fog 2. For some odd reason, they have to increase their armor ever so much more.
It comes out, but doesn't get any of them. So they have some juice. 5 hits, 617. That's definitely not enough HP to really.
Well, one Fog 2 comes. Yep, there's another Fog. There's a third Fog 2. Now these are like temper charges. Every time you cast a Fog 2, it just gets more and more and more. At some point, he's gonna have to use spells here or just run. They're gonna add up quick. Of course, I say that, and he gets a couple crits with the Masa, able to kill that worm.
Crits bypassing evasion, all thanks to the wonderful power of Ordeals and your sadness. The crits can happen from other things too, just definitely not as often.
I'm starting to think that those worms rolled really low armor, so it didn't matter how much Fog 2 they had.
Jack hitting level 25, sadly can't use any of those spell charges to burn this party.
I'm not gonna lie, I would never have expected Jack to hit level 25 with how much he's died.
Jack straps are pretty real and it's pretty high for these ones. He's trying to pop a house in there. I don't think a house is going to fit inside Chinese.
Alright, Gregory, any tips you want to give Captain Nerd here about this Tia fight? Because you're the one who you took him on and he or she kind of hurt you.
Yeah. You know, I think that the strategy he had against Kraken 2 would work well. Get those white shirts out there. I don't know if he ever found the defense sword. Throw some defenses out there. Then just power bonk all the way until you can do some damage on Tia.
I believe he has the defense sword on his red wizard.
Well,
Not going to be swinging it anymore anyways.
And this 2 comes out. He swings with his other white wizard. He gets a free turn. Tia 2 decides to cast Ink. So that's a free turn that's not going to do a whole lot.
well
Red
luckily,
wizard, he thinks. But
I was just saying, luckily that ink didn't hit.
It'll do even less with the power of land.
as for Jade 1 cast Fade, Ink comes out again. Jack can't see. He might attack his own team. Oh no, that's only confusion. Never mind. Another white shirt comes out. That's 3 stacks of.
I'm thinking for sure if Jack was our main damage dealer, we would definitely need to have Lamp, and I think Lamp was level 4 if I remember correctly, or level 5. So luckily Jack's not the one that's doing all the damage right now. We need Tull to get those power bonks up there and just start wailing on Tia.
So that nuke actually went through for about 330. That was actually a really good roll on the TMS goes down.
Yeah, there you go.
And here comes the word.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. Actually, that nuke hit for almost a max roll. It hit for 390.
And with Tia's M-Def, that's pretty stellar hit there. But did you see, even with the power bonk, with all like those 3 castings of power bonk, he still only hit Tia for 1 hit for 253 or somewhere around that area. let's go on ahead and send out all the good juju to Captain Nerd. This battle very similar to the Tia battle, I think. You know, you're just gonna have to go out there. You're gonna have the white shirt. You're gonna have the Invis 2, and you're gonna just have to power bonk and just plow through it.
We made some party members or the equipment. Yeah, the defense store didn't go on the watch. Master.
I'm actually okay with that in this case because he's got so many Invis 2s he's able to cast. Just make Jack unhittable, at least in that regard, I guess, and just let the Invis 2s get your master up too.
Yeah, you get all those Invis 2s out there, and then you just have your white mages just cast heal 3 over and over again in case anything really nasty comes out.
Crack falls off, but nobody else gets caught in the cracks there. Or Invis 2 going on. Still charging?
Now, I have to say, I'm surprised that Jack made it past that crack.
Jack's crack can eat no crack is life can eat no Sorry, that one's a bit old for everybody. It might even be 2,000 years old. Fade for 142. Black Belt swinging 5 hits, 185. Even with the power bomb, it's still pretty low. Nuke goes off for about 246 when you get a cure 3.
He's got one more nuke cast. He's gonna power bonk again. He's got his white. Yeah, he's got his white wizard. One of them's got fade cast. Lit 2 comes out, not gonna do much. Jack in the top position only has 302. Fade come out for 120. Nuked come from Jack for 386. Jack is a DPS monster with that nuke.
Jack proving the real hero of the story here as we get another round going.
I think he just got just enough. I was gonna say, I think he got just enough rest throughout the scene that finally these nukes are starting to really work out for Jack.
5 hits, 180. Jack going for the evade tank strap, actually proving out to pay off big.
Power bonk again, I don't blame that.
White shirts. Oh, there's a tornado. That's going to go through ribbon. It's not an elemental attack. Another power bonk. He should start swinging again at this point. Just used up the heal 3s. Just keep your HP high. You have a lot of people that are in nuclear or nuke range. 5 hits.
492.
The stun comes out from Chaos. That's okay as long as he's got over 300 HP. He's not gonna get stunned.
Here we go, the next turn. Ordeals going on. White shirt going on. Should be near max evasion right now. Chaos lift 2, definitely nothing special. As the heal completely erases all. And the swing goes for 5 hits, 561 terminated. We have a GG in the chat, everybody. Please show Captain Nerd your love on.
Good job, Captain Nerd.
I think we definitely are wanting an interview, and I'm going to go ahead and get Captain Nerd in here, at least.
Yeah, and that early game really set him back, and you know he battled through. I would definitely. I know he's one of our newer, the ducklings. He's gonna have to learn to save more. It'll save him a lot more time.
Wah, wah.
And he's gonna also have to remember to the camping equipment. You know, being able to go into Marsh Cave and stuff like that with healing potions and pure potions. At least be a little more prepared for it.
So, Gregory did 157.27. Captain Nerd has done second for 325.11. Still,
Yeah.
it's a, and we are
I
joined.
pretty much got lucky on that seed. You know? No nuclear or anything from... I never got a nuclear from Team 2 or Chaos.
Yep, we were a little afraid of that when we were watching Chaos. Your HP was down to about less than 300 on all your guys, and I'm like, if he casts a nuclear or a nuke, that's a wipe right there. But you got a good turn order. You were able to heal yourself back up. Just kind of a couple questions real quick. I'll have one. Lear's gonna have one for you probably too. At the beginning, you didn't pick up a tent. You went into the Temple of Fiends. You went right up to Garland.
Mm-hmm.
And was there any idea, like any thought of you going into and checking those chests? Because as you saw, those chests ended up having Excalibur, which you could have sold, and it had the Opal bracelet, which would have saved you from the wizards in Marsh and the gargoyles.
Well, I actually did pick it up right before I went to Marsh, actually, if you remember. Because way I had my strategy was just to activate the bridge, you know, where the intro comes out. I made sure to activate that before I went over to the Temple of Fiends, you know, just so I won't have to worry about going through it.
Okay.
I've got one for you, buddy. Captain Nerd, why don't you tell us about the Ice Cave adventure? You found a light axe in there, and along with the mage staff, Zeus gauntlet, black shirt, I noticed a lot of fades being tossed out, but there's not a lot of love for the consumable equipable items.
Honestly, my main target was going to be was mostly the key, but since I'm there, might as well just pick the whole thing clean, you know? That's basically how I see it. I mean, there's not really any point in keeping the whole cave non-picked. I mean, most racers probably do that anyway.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, so as much as I know of, you're one of our newer.
Yeah.
You're newer to the community. I mean, I thought you ran pretty well considering that this was a very unforgiving seed. I hope you kind of look back through this video and kind of see some stuff, because I try and point out some stuff to you, like how the ship is found, because you did get kind of lost there and stuff like that. But you know, I didn't really sense you getting aggravated when you were playing. Like, you just kind of went along and played your own game, and I have to commend you on that.
Yeah, the only issue is the only thing that aggravated me is right after I got the ship, I thought it was going to be around where the town that Crescent used to be, but no, they had to place it right where frickin' Pravaka is. That's what irritated me the most.
Yeah, so how the ship works is it spawns in the nearest inner sea port.
Sorry about that. I just said sorry about that.
But yeah, so the ship spawns in the inner sea. You know that inner sea where it's all connected between the Corneria and Matoya and Provoca and Elflin. So whatever port is the closest to where you found the ship is where it spawns.
Yeah. Well, it's a wonder how that seed actually actually pull through with the torture I had to go through to get to it. You know?
You had a couple hero runs. Let's say that for sure. You know, you had the
Yeah.
poison. You had to walk all the way from Marsh Cave and stuff like that. You definitely put in the time, and I commend you for it.
Thanks.
What are your thoughts for Captain Nerd?
The sea. Honestly, I think the sea could be a bit better if the whole obvious well, let's just say after I gotten the crown that was in the sea shrine, that kind of made me miffed, and I was hoping it would have been somewhere else, you know.
Understandable.
Because that's the worst place you could ever find it. I'm pretty sure Gregory could understand what I'm saying like this too, you know? It probably ifed him too.
Oh yeah, he had some issues. He ran into the death touch at sorcerers, and he wiped a couple times from them. So yeah, he knows. We're just gonna kind of move along here a little bit. Gregory, do you have any final thoughts about what happened? Any shout outs? Want to thank anything?
Nah, I appreciate you guys letting me hang out with you and do 3-man for a little bit during the last little bit of that race. GG to you, Kevin. Good plan.
Mm-hmm.
That seed was fun. And I don't ever want to see vanilla sorcerers again and their silly death touch. And that's pretty much that. So, no, thank you, Speed Gaming, for having us, and Dangwoo and Lyra for doing the comms, and of course, Danny for doing the tracking. And it's like 2:20, so I think I'm going to go get some sleep. So, good night.
Later. My final thoughts on this is great. I'm probably the only one that's lucky enough to not even get hit by the death touch as a sorcerer, you know?
Yeah, you got really lucky about that one. I don't even think you ran into him really.
Actually, I ran into at least one or two of them, at least. And when I got attacked, there was no death touch on them.
With touch attacks, they generally have like what a 50-50 going off or something like that. It's not always near.
The only thing I really hate the most about this seed is the whole poison blizzard and cremate doing over like around like 200 or so damage. And also having to level up just lower all that.
If you saw damage poison, that's actually something we didn't notice.
Yeah.
Close.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole poisoning is not a big deal. I mean, the actual poison technique, which does a lot of damage, was the one that irritated me.
Ah, the actual spell, not the condition. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd seen you buy like 32 peers after your hero run from Marsh Cave back to Corneria with the two the two light warriors.
Yeah.
For me, I'm Ding Wu. I just wanted to thank Speed Gaming, Akirdo for hanging out with us and doing all the streaming for everything, making sure everything was running smoothly. Danny for hanging around, doing all the tracking. My broadcast partner, Lyra, you were awesome tonight. Thank you for putting up with me. And all you fans who made this possible. You guys hung around and enjoyed our puns.
I'll go ahead and do this. Let's see. Special shout outs to Speed Gaming for hosting us as always. Kirito for the restream. Always appreciated working with you every time. Dangway, you did an excellent job. I enjoyed it myself. To Gregory and Captain Nerd, amazing as well. Let's see. Anybody else? Oh yeah, the best part about all of this is the fans themselves for staying up with us all night. I don't know what else to say other than it's been an honor and a pleasure as always. I love you all. See you next mission. Have a great one, and we'll see you in week 4.
See ya.